Chapter 762 Angry Yuan Hei. The nine-headed Zhao clan, as a powerful race that ranked in the top 10 of the giant beast galaxy, was also of the vindictive character. Having suffered such a huge loss from Lindong, they naturally would not just let it go. Moreover, they were also aware of the irreconcilable conflict between the nine-headed Zhao clan and the humans of the Milky Way galaxy. The nine-headed Zhao clan had tried to control the Milky Way galaxy many times, but had not succeeded. This time, an eternal realm powerhouse appeared in the Milky Way galaxy. And he was so strong just after stepping into the eternal realm. Once Lindong was allowed to continue growing, he would likely become the root cause of the nine-headed Zhao clan's annihilation in the future. So these days, they had been plotting a plan against the galaxy. They had even spent a large sum of money to enlist the help of two other races. Even if they could not completely crush the galaxy, they still wanted to uproot Lindong as a potentially huge threat. It was just that what the nine-headed Zhao race did not expect was that they had not even made a move to deal with Lindong. Lindong had already come to their door. Just who had given him the courage? And what was the matter with this eternal realm giant tortoise? There was also that young man beside Lindong. Could it be that this was the helper he had found? Coming to find trouble with the nine-headed Zhao clan? Yuan Shang and Yuan Hei thought at the same time in their hearts. Yuan Hei looked towards Yuan Shang and nodded slightly, and Yuan Shang signaled that he understood. He quietly took out an item from his hand and gently crushed it. An invisible fluctuation spread out. It sped off into the distance. The speed was so fast that it could even pierce through the void. At this time, Lindong and Chen Zihan had already walked to the edge of the giant turtle's back and stood opposite Yuan Shang and Yuan Hei. His massive spiritual energy had actually discovered Yuan Shang's small movements. It was just that Lindong did not stop it. The other party was merely looking for help. He had Chen Zihan, a cosmic enforcer, by his side, so would he be afraid of this? Moreover, Sister Hong, an existence that could be considered terrifying, was still behind him. Come on. Call all the helpers you have. It was guaranteed that once they heard the name of the cosmic enforcer, each one of them would directly pee in fear. Lindong was looking forward to seeing what kind of expression the nine-headed Zhao clan would have if the helpers they called in knew that they were facing the cosmic enforcer. Would they want to join hands and tear the nine-headed Zhao clan apart? Lindong. What are you, a person from the Milky Way galaxy, doing here in my giant beast galaxy? Yuan Shang asked. What? You are only allowed to send people from your nine-headed Zhao clan to wreak havoc on my Milky Way galaxy, but you are not allowed to allow people from my Milky Way galaxy to come to your territory. What kind of reasoning is that? Lindong sneered. Lindong. What are you babbling about? We have always been at peace in the Behemoth galaxy. When did we go to you to wreak havoc on your galaxy? Don't you believe in what you say? Yuan Shang said angrily. TSK. Yuan Shang, I've seen many shameless people, but it's the first time I've seen one as shameless as you. The upper beam is not straight and the lower beam is crooked. It seems that your nine-headed Zhao clan are all of your kind. You. Yuan Shang was choked speechless by Lindong. Lindong. This is the Behemoth galaxy, the territory of my nine-headed Zhao clan, not your galaxy. Tell us what you are here for or don't blame us for being impolite. Yuan Hei interjected. How do you guys want to be ungracious? Make it all out. I, Lindong, will take them all. Lindong disdainfully said. Yuan Hei glanced at Lindong and did not continue to talk nonsense to him. Instead, he said loudly, everyone. An eternal realm from the galaxy has come to my beast galaxy to act as a bully. If we allow him to continue, where will my beast galaxy's face go? What do you all say? As soon as he finished speaking, a voice disliked him back. Yuan Hei. You don't want to bring up the tempo here. This is between your nine-headed Zhao clan and the galaxy. Don't drag everyone into it. You did good things on your own and got the benefits, and now that someone else is beating down on your door, you want everyone to contribute. What kind of reasoning is that? The one who spoke was Taishan, the clan leader of the Titan Giant Ape clan of the Giant Beast Galaxy. The Titan Giant Ape clan and the nine-headed Zhao clan were originally archenemies. The two races had fought for tens of thousands of years, each having their own victories and defeats, and neither could do anything about it. There was this opportunity to taunt the nine-headed Zhao clan. How could Taishan let it go? Taishan. The grudge between our two clans is an internal matter within our giant beast galaxy, but now it involves two galaxies. Are you from our giant beast galaxy or not? Or have you already joined forces with the other side long ago? Yuan Hei rebuked loudly if not for the fact that Lindong had found helpers. A full 3 Eternal Realm existences were standing on the opposite side. Yuan Hei would have already joined forces with Yuan Shang to deal with Lindong. Even if he could not kill Lindong, he would still have to seriously injure him and give him a profound lesson so that he would not be able to continue growing. Now the other party had 3 Eternal Realm. Even if 2 more helpers were brought in, 4 against 3, they would not be able to deal a fatal injury to Lindong. It was necessary to find a way to make the other races in the Behemoth galaxy stand on his side as well. In that case, it was very likely that Lindong would be completely left behind. Today it was true that the Eternal Realm possessed an immortal body. However, as long as one instantly exterminated all of Lindong with absolute strength and did not leave a single drop of blood for him, then it would be impossible for him to regenerate even if he had heavenly abilities. This was a once and for all approach. Yuan Hei. Don't spit blood here, who stepped on the horse and joined forces with the galaxy? I just can't stand the style of your 9-headed Zhao clan. You guys, in order to be able to grow up quickly, you even feed on humans who are the spirit of all living things. This is already an open secret. Over the years, you haven't infiltrated the Milky Way galaxy, wanting to control the humans of the Milky Way galaxy. Now that someone else has come out of an eternal realm and has come to look for trouble with you, you've come to the point where you would use the greater good to hold everyone hostage. Why didn't you think about this when you ate the human race? Ever thought about this? Taishan crackled a lot, telling all the good things that the 9-headed Zhao clan had done to the Milky Way galaxy over the years. He had already seen it. This time, Lindong had come with great vigor. It was obvious that he had made sufficient preparations and had come to take revenge. As long as the other races of the Behemoth galaxy did not intervene, the 9-headed Zhao clan was somewhat of a threat today. Taking a step back, even if they escaped this calamity, they would definitely be greatly injured. This was undoubtedly the best news for the Titan Giant Ape clan. Although the Titan Great Ape clan were all big guys. But they are not fools. As long as it was a race that could transform into a human, there was no one with a worrisome IQ. They would also utilize the situation. Create the best situation for themselves. Titan. If you step on your horse and talk any more nonsense, believe it or not, I will tear your mouth apart right now. At this moment, Yuan Hei's anger was on the verge of rising to the sky. Although what they had done was not considered a secret in the Behemoth galaxy. But when it was really told by Taishan in front of everyone, the situation would be different. The possibility of Yuan Hei trying to utilize the righteousness of the intergalactic collision to leave Lindong behind would be minimized to a minuscule amount. Whether I am talking nonsense or not, you know better than anyone in your own heart. Everyone must not help this fellow, they should bear the burden of their own sins. Yuan Hei stared at the void in the direction of Taishan. His breath began to fluctuate violently. A layer of golden light appeared on the surface of his body. This was the precursor to the imminent opening of the Eternal Dharma Phase Golden Body. Chapter 763, You Pick One. Lindong looked at Yuan Hei, who was already in a state of fury, speechlessly. What was this situation? He had only said 2 words. The 9-headed Zhao clan was about to get into a fight with someone else. Instead, he himself had become a supporting role. Just now, Lindong remembered disliking this Yuan Hei fellow. It seemed to be the patriarch of some Titan Giant Ape clan. Last time when he stepped into the Eternal Realm, he had appeared and also disliked Yuan Hei. I didn't expect it to come again this time. It seemed like there must be a considerable grudge between the Titan Giant Ape clan and the 9-headed Zhao clan. What? Yuan Hei, looking at you, you still want to have a few moves with me first? Come on then. When have I, Taishan, ever been afraid of you, brother Lindong? I'll help you probe this fellow first, and you can strike later when you see your chance. Taishan's voice came from the void. Yuan Hei was already on the verge of exploding from Taishan's stimulation. It was ready to directly open the Eternal Dharma Phase Golden Body and teach Taishan a lesson. As a result, after hearing what Taishan had just said, his anger was directly extinguished for the most part. Lindong's 3 eternal realms that had come looking for trouble had yet to be resolved, so it would be unwise to drag Tarzan into the fray again. It was better to forget about it for now. A good man should not be forced to do anything beforehand. Let's hold back for now. After settling Lindong, then we will find a way to make the Titan Giant Ape clan pay the price. Yuan Hei thought secretly in his heart. Tarzan's words seemed like he was not afraid of Yuan Hei and was ready to take the fight in battle with the other party, but the last sentence was undoubtedly a reminder to Yuan Hei. You still have these door-to-door trouble seekers like Lindong yet to be dealt with. If you fight me now, aren't you giving Lindong and the others a chance? It had to be said that Taishan, as the patriarch of the Titan Giant Ape clan, did have some discipline. It was not like some guys who were limber and simple-minded. With his words, he had saved his own face and that of the Titan Great Ape clan, while at the same time making Yuan Hei not dare to make a move against him, and in the end, he had also shown goodwill to Lindong. It could be described as a 3-in-1 move with Lindong's intelligence. He naturally understood the reasoning behind it. It seemed that this Taishan was not a savior either. How did these star beasts feel smarter than most humans? Taishan. The matter between our two clans is after all a matter of internal conflict in the Behemoth galaxy. Let's talk about it later. Right now we should be united in our efforts to resolve Lindong, the guy from the galaxy who came to cause trouble, before we talk about anything else. Yuan Hei took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart and said, Yuan Hei. The sins done by your 9-headed Jiao clan, you guys can solve them yourselves. Lindong is here to find you. Don't involve us in this. Everyone is not a fool and will not get involved in this mess of yours. Taishan sank into silence after saying these words and no longer made a sound. His purpose had already been achieved. The next step was to see how far Lindong himself could go. Hopefully, he could at least cause the 9-headed Jiao clan to suffer a lot of injuries and losses. Otherwise, he would be sorry for taking so much effort to help everyone. Since the Milky Way galaxy has bullied its way to the door, how can we not show something? When have the Behemoths ever been treated like this? In order to maintain the dignity of my Behemoth galaxy, I hope that we can all unite together and be united in our fight. Yuan Hei was still boasting alone. He wanted to stir up the great righteousness of the major races within the Behemoth galaxy and join hands to deal with Lindong, the outsider. It was just that he had spoken for a long time. Yet not a single voice responded to him. What Taishan had just said still had a considerable effect. This was the Behemoth galaxy though. Lindong was also an outsider from a low-level civilization. But even after he stepped into the Eternal Realm, he brought the Milky Way galaxy into an intermediate-level civilization. It was still far, far worse than an old 5th-level civilization like the Behemoth galaxy. Some of the powerful races that were originally prepared to raise their voices to question Lindong, the outsider. All of them turned silent after such a mess from Taishan. Tarzan had a good point. Lindong did not come here to target the entire Behemoth galaxy as he did not have the strength to do so. He was only here to take revenge on the 9-headed Jiao clan. These were the sins of the 9-headed Jiao clan. Why should they bother to get into this mess? Yuan Hei was still talking to himself. He thought that he would be able to lure everyone and deal with Lindong together. If it wasn't for the words that Taishan had just said, maybe someone would have really stepped forward. At this time, Lindong quit. He had only said 2 words until now. Then Yuan Hei had been talking non-stop. Bailey Yanhong had told him to hurry up and deal with it if this continued. There was no telling how long Yuan Hei would have to perform. Yuan Hei. How much longer do you have to keep talking? The purpose of my coming here today should be clear to you. For so many years, you have been spying on my galaxy. How can you give me a statement? Lindong opened his mouth. Yuan's scale was interrupted by Lindong. In his heart, he was very upset. He waited for a while. There was still no one willing to step forward. In his heart, he could not wait to dismantle Taishan. If it wasn't for him, there was no way this situation would have occurred. Lindong. I don't know what you were talking about, and there is nothing I can give you. Last time when you stepped into the Eternal Realm, you made a move against my 9-headed Jiao clan for no reason. And now you are here to look for trouble again. Do you think that I have a family clan that is made of clay? I see that you don't place my giant beast galaxy in your eyes, Yuan Hei replied in a cold voice. Lindong snorted and did not continue talking to Yuan Hei. Instead, he said to Chen Jingzihan who was beside him, Brother Chen. It seems that it is not possible not to make a move today. The other party has 2 Eternal Realms, you pick one. How about leaving the remaining one for me? Brother Lin has only just reached the Eternal Realm, can he do it? The other side is 2 late-stage master levels, or else. Chen Jingzihan did not finish his words. He believed that Lindong would understand what he meant. There was naturally no problem in allowing him to deal with an Eternal Realm Sovereign grade late stage, although Chen Jingzihan was also at the late Eternal Realm Sovereign level just like the other party. However, he was from a high-level civilization. His various means were many times stronger than this intermediate civilization. It was just that Chen Jingzihan did not think that Lindong would be able to do the same. After all, Lindong had just stepped into the early Eternal Realm Sovereign level. There was a difference of 2 small realms between the two sides. It would not be easy to cross these 2 small realms to defeat the other party. Therefore, Chen Jingzihan wanted Lindong to directly report the identity of the Cosmic Enforcer. The other party would definitely kneel down and beg for forgiveness. How simple and hassle-free was that? Why did it have to be hands-on? Brother Chen. Don't we know if it works or not if we try? Lindong laughed. Of course he knew what Chen Jingzihan meant. It was just that Lindong understood very well what he was lacking. It was not strength. Once he arrived at the Star Void realm, with the system in place, Lindong was confident that he would be able to increase his strength in a short period of time. What he lacked was combat experience. This was something that the system could not give. Now that there was such a good opportunity for him to accumulate battle experience, how could Lindong miss it? Besides, beheading one of Yuan Shang Eternal Dharma Phase Golden Body's heads last time had increased Lindong's confidence tremendously. In that case, then I'll take this one, Chen Jingzihan said as he casually pointed at Yuan Hei. He did not know what had given Lindong the confidence to fight at a cross level. However, since Lindong had said so, then let's fight. Even if Lindong could not defeat him, Ant Hong was still there. Good then. Leave the remaining one to me, Lindong said excitedly. Chapter 764 Accumulating Battle Experience. Lindong and Chen Jingzihan were rubbing their fists over here, ready to strike. It made Yuan Hei frown. Is everyone really just going to let the people from the galaxy system take what they want in my behemoth galaxy? Yuan Hei questioned loudly. Yuan Hei. Since Lindong is here to find you, let's have a fight. The other party is also using 2 people, they are not bullying the few with the many, and Lindong has only just stepped into the Eternal Realm only. What do you want us to do? Could it be that your 9-headed Jiao clan cannot even afford to take this challenge? A mellow voice said. Hearing this voice, Yuan Ming closed his mouth. Obviously the identity of the other party made him feel extremely scornful. At this moment, boom, boom, 2 loud bangs appeared one after another. Lindong and Chen Jingzihan had already executed their eternal golden body phantasms. The 2 huge golden figures stood in the void as if they were giants standing on top of the sky. If one looked closely, one would notice. Lindong's manifested golden body giant was a little smaller than Chen Jingzihan's. The size of the Eternal Dharma Phase golden body was not the same, it would change as its strength grew. The stronger the strength, the taller the Eternal Dharma Phase golden body was. If Bailey Yanhong, the Eternal Realm Supreme level, were to unleash it, Lindong and the others would only be able to estimate that it would only reach the knees of the others. It was like an adult versus a child of a few years old. The 9-headed Jiao clan has long plagued my galaxy and even used the humans of my galaxy as food. Today, I, Lindong, as the Lord of the Galaxy, have come to collect the interest. The golden giant that Lindong had manifested opened his mouth as thunderous sounds rolled out, spreading throughout the void. Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang saw that Lindong had already executed his Eternal Dharma Phase golden body and would definitely not give up. They could only respond to the battle. Both of them cast their Eternal Dharma Phase golden bodies at the same time. Golden light shot up into the sky. It instantly transformed into 2 huge monsters. These 2 monsters both possessed 9 terrifyingly huge heads. Each head spat out chilling letters. This was the true face of the 9-headed Jiao clan. 2 people, 2 beasts, standing apart in the air. Aha! This scene caused Yuan Shi's group of people who were watching from the building behind the giant turtles back to scream in direct terror. Especially Yuan Shi Zhao Xian's few people. They were of low strength and had not seen the world. At the same time, they were worried about Lindong's safety in their hearts. Yi Qingdao and Xiaomu had seen Lindong execute the Eternal Dharma Phase golden body. Hence, they did not feel much shock. It was only when they saw the 2 huge 9-headed Jiao that their hearts still pinched a sweat for Lindong. It was the first time that Morong Qingda had seen such a situation. Looking at the four giant shadows in the sky, they stood in the void. There was not the slightest bit of fear in her heart. There was only excitement and yearning. One day, she would also have to reach this level. Huangfu Shiyu, on the other hand, comforted Yun Shi and the others. Sister Shiyu. Lindong will be fine, right? Yun Shi asked. Don't worry. Since Lindong is doing this, naturally he will be fine. It's not like you guys don't know him well, he won't do anything without certainty. Huangfu Shiyu comforted. Although it was said so. But some worry was also revealed in her eyes. Everyone stared dead center at the four huge figures in the distance. Ha ha. Brother Chen, I'll go first. Lindong said with a big smile. After saying this, he maneuvered the giant golden shadow to take a step forward and charge towards Yuan Shang. Lindong. Last time, you sneak attacked and luckily injured me. This time, I will let you know that the late stage of the sovereign rank is not something you can defeat. Yuan Shang finished his speech and also charged towards Lindong. One person and one beast met in the center. Lindong reached out his hand and grabbed one of Yuan Shang's head as he tried to rip it off. However, before he could exert any force, several of Yuan Shang's other heads wrapped up and directly wrapped Lindong's upper body tightly, making him unable to move. Yuan Shang then vacated one of his heads and opened his mouth towards Lindong as his mouth began to gather abilities. Soon a ball of energy was completed and was about to hit Lindong while he was unable to move. At this time, Chen Jingzihan arrived and punched Yuan Shang's head that was gathering energy. Bang! The ball of energy deviated from its position and shot into the void while Chen Jingzihan was preparing to help Lindong out. Yuan Hei also arrived. Immediately, he wrestled with Chen Jingzihan. Lindong, on the other hand, fought to break free from Yuan Shang's blockade. In fact, just now, even if Chen Jingzihan did not come to help, Lindong still had a way to escape. He had not even used his spiritual power yet. Four huge golden figures fought together in the void. Everyone was using the most primitive method of fighting in close quarters. Yuan Shang and Yuan Hei immediately gathered energy balls to attack Lindong and Chen Jingzihan whenever they had the chance. However, all of them were hit at once. Using such long-range attacks in close combat was naturally very inefficient. However, one of the energy balls attacked the location of the giant turtle. It could scare Huangfu Shiyu and the others who were nervously watching the battle. They could only watch as a huge ball of light approached at a time when they thought they were in trouble. When the ball of light reached the outside of the building, it disappeared without a trace. It was as if it had never appeared. Ha! This scene also caused many Eternal Realm powerhouses in the giant beast galaxy to let out a question. They were not surprised that the giant tortoise was able to block the energy ball from the nine-headed Zhao clan. After all, the giant tortoise was also an Eternal Realm. But to have the energy ball disappear so silently was a bit strange. However, they didn't look too deeply into it. After the energy ball disappeared, Huangfu Shiyu and the others' ears rang with Bailey Yanhan's voice. You guys don't worry about watching. Lindong has just stepped into the Eternal Realm and is taking the other party to join hands and accumulate battle experience. There will be no danger. Thank you, Sister Hong. Thank you, Master. The crowd opened their mouths to thank them hearing Bailey's words. Everyone began to relax and watch the battle in the distance. As long as Lindong was not in danger, it would be fine. The battle between Yuan Hei and Chen Jingzihan could be said to be evenly matched. Both of them did not use their full strength. Chen Jingzihan's purpose was to block Yuan Hei, and as long as he did not join the fight between Lindong and Yuan Shang, his mission would be considered accomplished. Now he could also see it. Lindong was clearly taking his opponent to accumulate experience. Although Yuan Shang had been in the upper hand, pressing Lindong to fight. However, it did not cause any substantial damage to Lindong. At every critical moment, Lindong was always able to dodge his attacks. This made Yuan Shang a little anxious. He was a late-stage Eternal Realm Sovereign grade while Lindong had only just stepped into the early stage of the Sovereign grade. It was surprising that he could not take down the other party for so long. There were still so many strong people watching around. Where would this make his face go? The last time he had his head chopped off by Lindong's sneak attack, it had already caused him to lose face in the Beast Galaxy. If he didn't get it back today, what face would he have? How would he lose face? Yuan Shang was anxious, and he was prepared to give Lindong a big blow. Lindong must be made to pay. Lindong and Yuan Shang tangled together, absorbing the battle experience of the Eternal Realm. As soon as he reached a critical moment, he utilized his spiritual power to dodge his opponent's attacks. Although he was covered in wounds, he did not injure his fundamentals. Chapter 765 Illusionary Divine Soldier. Boom! There was a loud bang. The Void God Fist executed by Lindong ruthlessly smashed into Yuan Shang's chest. However, as Yuan Shang was smashed, he also turned around and the tail behind him was flung towards Lindong with full force splat. Both of them took the full force of the other's strike and each retreated behind them. The place they passed through overturned rivers and stars were obliterated. The nine-headed Zhao clan that was a race that was known for its defensive power and had a strong physical body. While Lindong's physical body had been tempered by the system, it was not inferior at all. The two were considered to be evenly matched if they only fought for their physical bodies. However, after all, Lindong was only at the early stage of the sovereign level, while Yuan Shang was at the late stage of the sovereign level, which was 2 small realms higher than Lindong. Coupled with the fact that Yuan Shang had lived for nearly 10,000 years, his battle experience was far superior to that of Lindong. Therefore, from the very beginning of this battle, it was Yuan Shang who was suppressing Lindong. However, Lindong's current aim was to accumulate combat experience, lest he would meet a strong person of the same level when he arrived at the Star Void realm, making him unable to make the correct response. Therefore, he did not use his entire bottom card. Spiritual energy was only used in a small portion to assist, and the evil breaking sword was not utilized either. The two exchanged one strike for another, each retreating. Yuan Shang, on the other hand, as he retreated, his 9 auger heads gathered energy at the same time. A huge ball of energy soon formed in front of him. It was more than tens of times larger than the energy ball he had just gathered with one auger head. The power naturally didn't need to be mentioned. If he was struck by such an oversized energy ball, Lindong's eternal Dharma phase golden body would be able to shatter for him. Even if he could not directly kill Lindong, at the very least, he could be seriously injured. Lindong knew that his opponent was about to amplify his move when he saw Yuan Shang gathering energy. He casually made a move. A red longsword automatically flew out from the sword box on Yi Qingdao's back. It landed in Lindong's hand with a flash of red aura. At the same time that Lindong's main body held the evil breaking sword in his hand, a red longsword suddenly appeared in his eternal Dharma phase golden body hand as well. The evil breaking sword was in his hand. Lindong's aura changed. A stern aura centered around him and spread out in all directions. This scene fell into Chen Jingzihan's eyes, causing his eyes to shrink. This was the illusionary divine soldier? How could this be possible? How could Lindong have an illusionary divine armament in his hands? One had to know that this kind of illusionary divine soldier was rare even in his hometown. Chen Jingzihan also had 2 of them in his hands. One of them was given to him by his father, who was the head of the Heavenly Star Mansion. When he stepped into the Eternal Realm, the other was given to him by his mother. There weren't many of these kinds of things that his numerous Eternal Realm siblings possessed. Most of them did not. They were all direct descendants of the Heavenly Star Mansion. Only those who made significant contributions to the Heavenly Star Mansion could be bestowed. He also relied on himself as the young lord of the Heavenly Star Mansion to get it. Wanting to possess an illusionary divine soldier on his own was definitely harder than climbing up to the heavens. Unless one defied life and death to explore various dangerous relics, one might get it if one was lucky. Of course, the greater possibility was death. Every illusionary divine soldier was worth its weight in gold. Unexpectedly, Lindong, who came from a low-level civilization, actually had one. It was really unbelievable. Moreover, Chen Jingzihan felt that this sword in Lindong's hand should be of the very best quality. Even amongst the illusionary divine armaments, it was more advanced than the 2 pieces in his hand. This brat Lindong's luck was simply heaven-defying. Even Chen Jingzihan was feeling a little jealous at the moment. He was originally worried that Lindong was not a match for Yuan Shang, a late-stage sovereign grade. It seemed that he had been overly concerned. With this divine weapon in hand, Lindong indeed possessed the possibility of challenging over the levels. No wonder he was so confident just now. There were really quite a lot of secrets in this brat's body. It was worthy of being a man who could not even see through the Heavenly Star viewing technique. No matter what, Lindong must be pulled into the Heavenly Star Mansion. Pulling a fellow with unbelievable chi to join the Heavenly Star Mansion would be considered a great contribution to the Heavenly Star Mansion. Father would definitely reward him again. At that time, Chen Jingzihan looked at Lindong with a look of excitement. Luckily, Lindong was busy dealing with Yuan Shang's big move right now, otherwise he would have misunderstood if he had seen Chen Jingzihan's eyes. In the luxurious building on the back of the giant turtle, a room that was almost entirely filled with a red ocean, Bailey Yanhong was also watching the battle outside. Upon seeing the red longsword in Lindong's hand, visualizing into the eternal Dharma phase golden body's hand, Bailey Yanhong could not help but let out a soft eep. It proved that she was also very surprised in her heart at this time. Interesting. Interesting. It is really interesting. I never thought that in this low-level civilization, an extremely high-grade illusionary divine soldier would actually appear, Lindong. I am very curious, just how many more secrets do you have on you, brat? I'm looking forward to the day when all of them are revealed. I hope that you brat won't let me down, Bailey Yanhong muttered. The illusionary divine soldier was considered a strange treasure for Chen Jingzihan. But for a powerhouse of Bailey Yanhong's level, it wasn't considered much of a treasure, and she possessed more than one of these things. What really surprised Bailey Yanhong was that Lindong, a kid from a low-level civilization, even had it. Let alone a low-level civilization. Even in intermediate-level civilizations, illusionary divine soldiers were unattainable. Only high-level civilizations would have more of them. But they were all in the hands of great powers. If two eternal realms of similar strength fought, having an illusionary divine soldier and not having an illusionary divine soldier were two completely different concepts. It was a good thing to be able to fight across levels. Chen Jingzihan and Bailey Yanhong were not the only ones on the scene who recognized the evil breaking sword in Lindong's hand as an illusionary divine armament. The other powerhouses in the Behemoth galaxy who were watching the battle from the shadows recognized it. This was a rank 5 civilization. The insight was much stronger than the third-level civilization of the galaxy. This is? Illusion Divine Soldier? It's actually the legendary illusionary divine soldier. One by one, voices of shock tinged with joy rang out. Last time when Lindong used the evil breaking sword to chop off one of Yuan Shang's heads, after all, he was separated by an endless distance, thus, everyone did not clearly see what means Lindong had executed. This time, it was close at hand, everyone could see it clearly. It was indeed the legendary illusionary divine armament. This was an illusionary divine soldier. A pair of eyes with strong possessive desires lit up in the void as they stared deathly at the evil breaking sword in Lindong's hand. Just like an old lecherous devil who had been sealed for 10,000 years and had just broken the seal to see a peerless beauty, he could not wait to immediately pounce on it and possess it. There were only 3 illusionary divine soldiers in the entire Behemoth galaxy. 2 of them were in the hands of the first-ranked powerful race, and 1 was in the hands of the second-ranked race. There was no one who didn't want to obtain it. Among the top 10 ranked races in the Beast Galaxy, other than the 2 races that possessed the illusionary divine soldier, the difference in strength between the other races was not that great. If anyone was able to obtain an illusionary divine soldier, the ranking would immediately soar to 3rd or even 2nd. That was why everyone was giving that look. Even the 2 major races that had already used the illusionary divine soldier were no exception, they also wanted to get it. This kind of divine weapon, naturally, the more one had, the better. Chapter 766, The Result of the Battle. Yuan Shang and Yuan Hei also saw the illusionary divine armament in Lindong's hands. Strong possessiveness flickered in their eyes. They also wanted to obtain it. However, the 2 were very clear. According to the current situation, the 9-headed Zhao clan did not stand a chance. However, Lindong's use of the illusionary divine soldier was a great thing for them. Both of them showed joy in their eyes. Great, it is simply heaven's help. For Lindong to bring out the illusionary divine soldier right now was completely self-destructive. Yuan Hei was still wondering in his mind how to convince everyone to join hands against Lindong. Now the opportunity had come. The illusionary divine soldier in Lindong's hand, just ask who in the giant beast galaxy would not want to obtain it. Any eternal realm that possessed it would possess the possibility of challenging over the levels. No one could refuse such a temptation. Now if he greeted, it was guaranteed that there would be many people who would strike at Lindong. As long as Lindong was killed, the illusionary divine soldier in his hand would be the lord of nothing. In that case, everyone would have a chance to obtain it. Lindong was still unaware that his evil breaking sword had already caused the prying eyes of many strong spectators around him. However, even if he knew, he would not care. With Bailey Yanhong, a terrifying cosmic enforcer, as his backer, what was he afraid of? At this time, Yuan Shang's attack was already prepared. Boom! An oversized energy ball was launched out towards Lindong at such a speed that wherever it passed, even space began to collapse. It could be seen how powerful it was. Lindong was not willing to show weakness either. The evil breaking sword in his hand was swung with force. Evil breaking sword technique. Swoosh! A red sword blade chopped towards the oversized energy ball. The combination of the evil breaking sword and the evil breaking sword technique could be more than just 1 + 1 = 2. That might could be stacked. Everyone's eyes widened as they carefully stared at the strike that the two of them sent out. Yuan Shang didn't need to say that he was at the late stage of the Eternal Realm's sovereign level. The power of the full force strike he sent out was so great that even in the entire giant beast galaxy, it belonged to the top. Although Lindong was only at the early stage of the Eternal Realm's sovereign grade, what he had in his hand was the legendary illusionary divine soldier. This was a weapon that was capable of fighting across levels. The hard clash between the two could be said to have earned a lot of eyeballs. The surrounding powerhouses who were secretly watching the battle couldn't even blink their eyes for fear of missing a moment of this collision. Whether it was Yuan Shang's skill that was superior, or was the illusionary divine soldier in Lindong's hands more powerful? Boom! Swoosh! The oversized energy ball and the red sword met in the void. The imagined heaven-destroying scene did not appear. There wasn't even a sound of collision. Amidst everyone's dumbfounded gazes, the red sword aura wielded by Lindong using the evil breaking sword unexpectedly directly sliced through the entirety of Yuan Shang's oversized energy ball before still chopping towards Yuan Shang's position. So the people watching the battle were dumbfounded. How was this possible? The full force strike executed by Yuan Shang at the late Eternal Realm sovereign level had actually been broken by Lindong? Did Lindong himself possess such strength? It was clearly impossible. He had only just stepped into the Eternal Realm. The only variable was the illusionary divine soldier in his hand. This divine soldier was surprisingly so powerful. It was able to allow Lindong to cross 2 minor realms and break Yuan Shang's full force strike. It was truly incredible. Even the two powerful races in the giant beast galaxy that possessed illusionary divine armaments were shocked at this moment. The illusionary divine soldiers in their hands were far from being this powerful, able to cross 2 minor realms to help the user win. At most, it could only fight across 1 level. This illusionary divine soldier in Lindong's hands was clearly much more powerful than the ones in their hands. Countless spectators revealed greedy looks. Yuan Shang looked at the red sword on that broke his full strength strike and continued to chop towards him. He was also somewhat confused. The last time he was chopped off a head by Lindong's sword, he had originally thought that it was caused by him responding in haste and not having time to store up his strength. This time, he had struck first, and the 9 augur heads had gathered their energy at the same time to execute their strongest strike, bound to avenge the sword strike from last time. I didn't expect the same result. This made it somewhat unacceptable for a while. After breaking Yuan Shang's oversized energy ball, the red sword wielded by Lindong had also consumed most of it, and its speed was no longer as fast as it was at the beginning. However, it still reached Yuan Shang in an instant. The red sword was preparing to chop Yuan Shang's eternal Dharma phase golden body into 2 in one fell swoop. A beam of light suddenly appeared and blocked in front of Yuan Shang, colliding with the incoming red sword main rumble. The commotion caused by this collision was going to be far too great. Deafening sounds resounded through the void. The aftershocks from the collision spread out, directly lifting Yuan Shang out. Bang bang bang. The aftershocks even shattered numerous planets in the distance. Gorgeous fireworks were set off in the void. Since Yuan Shang was closest to the collision, the damage inflicted on him was also quite great. At this point, his eternal Dharma phase golden body was already in a half-crippled state. The damage caused by Lindong's strike to the 9-headed Zhao clan was too great. This was their territory. Surrounding it were planets inhabited by the core of the 9-headed Zhao clan. This strike not only injured Yuan Shang, but also destroyed many of the life planets inhabited by the 9-headed Zhao clan, causing them to suffer heavy losses. Yuan Hei looked at all this in front of him. The anger in his heart went straight to the sky. Such an outcome was unexpected by everyone. It was clear that Lindong had been the underdog in the beginning and had been pressurized by Yuan Shang. It turned out that in the end, it was Lindong who almost seriously injured Yuan Shang with a single strike. This reversal came too quickly. It surprised Qin Jing Zihan, who had seen a lot of things and came from an advanced civilization. Even if Lindong had used the illusionary divine soldier, he did not think that Lindong would defeat the late sovereign-level Yuan Shang in such a blowout manner. Originally, he had thought that the two sides would fight to a draw at most. It seemed that he had still underestimated Lindong. Lindong had won. There was certainly no one happier than Yun Shi and the others. They had all sweated for Lindong when he was being beaten up. Now that Lindong had won, they were all happy for Lindong. Morongqinga's calm expression concealed the monstrous waves within her heart. This was the first time she had seen such a terrifying battle of the Eternal Realm. A planet could only become a firework under the aftermath of such a battle, doing nothing but adding a little brightness to the dark void. Was this man the Lindong who had once refused to marry himself? It had actually changed to be so terrifying. No wonder he was unwilling to even look at himself in the first place. Perhaps cultivation was the most important thing in his mind. Otherwise, he would not have such strength. Morongqinga looked at Yun Shi and the others who were elated because of Lindong's victory. If he had just gotten down in the beginning, would he be one of them now? Impossible. Who was she? She was Morongqinga. Her high pride would never allow her to do something that humiliating. Only men had ever been infatuated with her. It was impossible for her to be infatuated with any man. Although she admired Lindong now, but there was no way that she would do something like sticking up to him backwards. Chapter 767, Surrounding. Lindong's use of the illusionary divine armament had not only caused the nine-headed Zhao clan to suffer heavy losses in a single strike, but had also caused them to lose face in the giant beast galaxy. Lindong, you are too deceitful. This is the Behemoth galaxy, not the Milky Way galaxy. Do you want to start a big war? Yuan Hei stared at Lindong in the distance and gritted his teeth. Lindong pulled the evil breaking sword in his hand into a sword flower and put it away before replying with a cold smile, Yuan Hei, don't you dare threaten me here. You can't represent the entire Behemoth galaxy yet, and just now, I only counterattacked passively. It's not my fault for causing the current result, it's you guys who brought this upon yourselves. You. Yuan Hei was unable to speak after being swallowed by Lindong. He then turned his head and said loudly into the void, everyone. Lindong, this outsider, has acted recklessly in my giant beast galaxy, and has even caused numerous deaths and injuries to my nine-headed Zhao clan, in order to avenge my clansmen, and even more so, to maintain the dignity of my giant beast galaxy. I, Yuan Hei, implore all of you to make a move, and to help me to kill Lindong together, and I, nine-headed Zhao clan, will be grateful. After Yuan Hei finished speaking, he waited quietly. He believed that with the lure of the illusory divine soldier, these guys would definitely not be as indifferent as they were just now. They would pounce on them like a cat asking for a fishy smell. There was no one in the Behemoth galaxy who did not want to obtain the powerful illusionary divine armament in Lindong's hands. This included the two powerful clans that already possessed the illusionary divine soldier. No one would have too much of this thing. The moment Lindong flashed the illusionary divine armament, he had already doomed the end. Even if he had two helpers, it would not help. There were dozens of Eternal Realm sovereign-level powerhouses in the entire Behemoth galaxy, while Lindong only had a mere 3. The huge gap in numbers made it absolutely impossible for Lindong to escape today. The only pity was that although it was possible to exterminate Lindong as a powerful threat, however, the nine-headed Zhao clan did not have the opportunity to obtain the illusionary divine soldier. By inviting the other powerhouses of the Behemoth galaxy to help kill Lindong, he had already lost the qualification to compete for the illusionary divine soldier. However, this could not be helped without the help of the other strong clans facing Lindong, who possessed the illusionary divine soldier. Their nine-headed Zhao clan would probably be almost extinguished even if they were not completely exterminated. Lindong was completely unconcerned about Yuan Hei's plea for help. He felt that since no one was even willing to step forward just now that they had seen how powerful they were, they would be even less likely to come forward. However, what Lindong did not expect was, not long after Yuan Hei's words, someone immediately responded. Brother Yuan Hei, I am really sorry. When I received your message, I was in the middle of an important matter and was delayed a little bit. I came late. I hope you don't mind. Today, I came to assist you in slaying your foreign enemy. This voice had just finished speaking. Another voice then rang out. Ha ha. Yuan Hei brother, you and my two clans are close friends, how can this kind of thing be missing me? Someone who dares to touch your nine-headed Zhao clan is looking down on my three-headed Hellwolf, and I've come to help you. The voice had just arrived, followed by two golden behemoths quickly running over from the void. It didn't take long to reach the battlefield. The two golden behemoths were strangely long and ferocious, and Lindong could not tell what species they were. It was definitely not found on Earth anyway. One was a bit like a dog in size, but had 3 heads and was much more vicious than a dog, so it should be the hell three-headed wolf. The other one was long and barefaced with fangs, a bit like a wild boar if one were to compare it with the creatures on Earth. The 2 fangs were already cocked to the top of its head. Lindong suddenly recalled that when he had just arrived here, his spiritual power had noticed that Yuan Shang had secretly sent out a signal that he should be looking for help, and now it seemed that it was most likely these 2 ferocious fellows. It was true that things are like things, and people are like people. The 9-headed Zhao clan was no better. These 2 guys are even more so. If placed on Earth, they would definitely scare little children in the middle of the night, and it is estimated that they can also play the role of warding off evil spirits. Yuan Hei looked at the 2 golden beasts that joined the battlefield, his heart indignant. They must have arrived a long time ago, yet they did not strike until now. If Lindong had not taken out the illusionary divine soldier, it was not certain whether they would have appeared or not. They were all assholes who pursued profit above all else. Yuan Hei had not thought about it. How could his 9-headed Zhao clan not be the same? Everyone was half a catty and no one was any better. The situation now became 4 against 3. Although Yuan Shang had suffered some injuries, he still had the power to fight. Although he was dissatisfied in his heart, Yuan Hei said politely on his lips, "Many thanks to the 2 of you for your help. If we can kill our foreign enemy today, my 9-headed Zhao clan will be grateful." Ha ha. What heavy thanks, not heavy thanks, brother Yuan Hei, you and my 2 clans are close friends, your 9-headed Zhao clan is in trouble, how can we stand idly by? The hellish 3-headed wolf that looked like a dog said with a big smile, "Brother wolf. A close friend is a close friend, as the saying goes, a close brother is a close friend. Your help today will definitely not be forgotten by my 9-headed Zhao clan, as long as you help me behead Lindong. Not only will the illusionary divine soldier in his hand belong to you guys, but I will also give you another big thank you." Yuan Hei said solemnly. Brother Yuan Hei is so courteous, it would be unwise of me if I were to excuse myself. Since this is the case, then Mr. Wolf will respectfully accept the offer. The 3-headed wolf of hell said joyfully. At this moment, several other voices suddenly resounded in the surrounding void. Lindong. You, a person from the galaxy, how dare you run into my beast galaxy to spread your wildness and cause such a large number of deaths and injuries? Do you really think that our beast galaxy is easy to bully? Don't worry, brother Yuan Moi, I will come to your aid. Lindong. You devil who treats life like grass, the moment you came to my behemoth galaxy, you caused countless deaths and injuries. Today you will not be able to escape, brother Yuan Moi, I will also come to assist you in slaying your foreign enemy. Brother Yuan Moi. Lindong's actions have already offended the bottom line of my behemoth galaxy. We have come together to assist you in killing the foreign enemy, to maintain the stability and dignity of the behemoth galaxy, and never let other galaxies look down on us. Several voices crusading against Lindong sounded out one after another. At the same time, there were also more than a dozen giant beasts that were exercising their eternal Dharma phase golden bodies, running towards the battlefield. All of them arrived soon after. More than a dozen strange-looking golden behemoths surrounded Lindong and Chen Zihan, as well as the giant tortoise in the center. Some of them were in the form of beasts with 4 feet on the ground, some were in the form of humans with 2 feet on the ground, and there were even beasts with no feet as well as dozens of feet. For a while, Lindong became the public enemy of the giant beast galaxy. Everyone wanted to get rid of him. When Yun Shi and the others saw the scene, they immediately trembled in fear. Several women nervously held their hands. Their eyes stared at Lindong in the distance, their gazes revealing intense worry. Although Lindong had just displayed great strength and defeated a monster. However, that was a one-on-one situation. Now there were dozens of golden-colored beasts around. It was impossible for Lindong to win even if he was stronger. Morongchinga was also a little nervous. There were some 2 conflicting voices in her heart. One was hoping that Lindong would be taught a lesson, who had asked him to reject her in the first place. The other was hoping that Lindong would explode with a shocking battle power and beat all of his enemies down. The 2 contradictory voices kept ringing in her ears. It caused her heart to be in turmoil. Chapter 768, Taking a Life in Exchange. Sister Hong, is Lindong, is he in danger? Please also ask Sister Hong to come to Lindong's rescue. Huangfu Shiyu said loudly. Her words also reminded Yun Shi and the others. I was afraid that the only person who could save Lindong right now was the mysterious Bailey Yanhong. Everyone opened their mouths to ask her for help. Sister Hong, please save Lindong. Yes. Sister Hong, please take action to save Lindong. While everyone was anxiously begging for help, Bailey Yanhong's voice rang in everyone's ears. You guys don't need to worry, with Zihan here, Lindong will definitely be fine, they don't have the guts to hurt Lindong. Hearing Bailey Yanhong's words, everyone temporarily put their hearts down. However, they were still staring nervously at Lindong's figure in front of them. Lindong inexplicably looked at the dozen or so golden behemoths around him. What kind of situation was this? Just now, it was clear that no one had paid attention to Yuan Hei's words. How did everyone suddenly change their minds? Could it really be that the strike he had just made had spread too widely? However, according to the information that Lindong had learned, it was only right that these towering eternal realms would not care about the deaths of ordinary beings at all. Nowadays, what was revealed in the eyes of one or two of them was not grief either, but excitement and greed. What in the world was going on here? Next to him, Chen Jingzihan could see Lindong's puzzlement. He smiled and asked, Is Brother Lin puzzled as to why these fellows have suddenly turned on you? Brother Chen knows? I would also like to ask Brother Chen to explain. Lindong looked towards Chen Jingzihan and said, I naturally know. Mr. Chen took the liberty of asking, where did that sword in Brother Lin's hand come from? Of course, Lindong may not tell if he is not comfortable to do so, after all, everyone has their own secrets. Lindong lifted the evil-breaking sword in his hand at his words and looked at it, saying, There is nothing inconvenient about it, I found it from a relic, I thought it was quite good, so I have been carrying it around as a weapon. Is this sword very special? He didn't say that it was produced by the 9-turn star iron after a systematic forging. Exploring the relics could explain everything. Brother Lin really is a person with great fortune. Casually entering a relic can result in such a treasure. This sword is not simple, it is an illusionary divine armament, and it is also the very best of the illusionary divine armaments. It is a treasure that allows the eternal realm to fight at a cross level. With it, challenging at a cross level is no longer a dream. The illusionary divine armament is also a weapon that every eternal realm dreams of, Chen Jingzihan explained. Then that means that all of these guys surrounding and targeting me are trying to obtain this illusionary divine soldier in my hands? Lindong asked. Of course. As the saying goes, if you have wealth, you will not show it to the world. Brother Lin, if you bring out such an important treasure, and if you do not have enough strength of your own to protect it, it will naturally cause others to pry into it, not to mention these country bumpkins of theirs. It is even I who am a little bit moved when I see this sword, Chen Jingzihan said with a smile. I see. Lindong sort of understood. When there were no benefits, these fellows were all in a state of unconcern. Now, when they saw that there was a profit to be made, they immediately became grandiose, and the reasons they found were all so lofty. They were all a bunch of hypocritical guys. Many thanks to Brother Chen for explaining. No need to be polite, it's a small matter. Brother Lin only needs to promise what I said in the first place to be the biggest thank you to me. Lindong naturally understood what Chen Jingzihan had said. It was nothing more than wanting him to join the Heavenly Star Mansion. This matter would have to wait until he reached the Star Void realm and understood the specifics. If the Heavenly Star Mansion was an evil force that did nothing wrong, Lindong would not join. However, according to the current situation, it should be unlikely. After all, how could one that could become a cosmic enforcer and maintain cosmic order be an evil force? The powerful members of the various races in the Behemoth galaxy also did not expect that the person beside Lindong would recognize the illusionary divine soldier. They assumed that a low-level civilization like the galaxy that Lindong was born in would not be able to know what the illusionary divine soldier was. Otherwise, he certainly would not have just taken it out and used it. Wasn't this just strutting around with a load of money in front of a bunch of gamblers? But since it was all known, then there was no need for them to hide it anymore. Lindong. Since you already know, then be sensible and hand over the illusionary divine soldier in your hand so that you can still save your life. Don't wait for us to make a move, or else you won't be able to stop the attacks of so many of our strongest men, even if you are in the eternal realm. Not bad. Lindong, as long as you hand over the illusionary divine soldier in your hand, we guarantee that we won't hurt you and will also send you safely out of the Behemoth galaxy, otherwise don't blame us for being impolite. Hand over the illusionary divine soldier and we will spare you from death. Numerous Eternal Realm powerhouses opened their mouths. They forced Lindong to hand over the evil-breaking sword in his hand. Yuan Hei felt that something was not right. If Lindong handed over the illusionary divine soldier, then wouldn't he be able to leave the Behemoth galaxy alive? What would he do about his nine-headed Zhao clan at that time? Not to mention the heavy losses, he had not gained any benefits, but he had also let the tiger return to the mountain and sowed the seeds of hidden danger for the future. This cannot be done. Lindong must not be allowed to hand over the illusionary divine soldier. At this moment, Lindong suddenly spoke. It is not impossible for everyone to want the sword, it is just that I have a request. Upon hearing Lindong's words, Yuan Hei immediately felt something bad. You say? Lindong, as long as your request is not too much, we can all agree to it. If you want the sword in my hand, then you can exchange it with Yuan Hei's life, and whoever kills Yuan Hei, the sword will belong to him. Lindong said with a smile. All the powerhouses were collectively silent. They were considering the pros and cons of this matter. Killing Lindong would similarly allow them to obtain the illusionary divine sword. However, there were 3 eternal realms on Lindong's side, and there was also the addition of an extreme illusionary divine sword. Lindong's prowess with this sword had already been proven and could easily defeat Yuan Shang, who was at the late stage of the sovereign rank. If the sword fell into the hands of another late sovereign ranked fellow who was with Lindong, the power would increase even more. On Yuan Hei's side, however, there were only 2 eternal realms, and Yuan Shang was still injured. Obviously, it was easier to kill Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang. In just an instant. They had already made up their minds in their hearts. As per Lindong's request. Kill Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang. As for whether Lindong would honor it in the end. They were not afraid in the slightest. This was because this was the Behemoth galaxy. The moment Lindong said that he had a request, Yuan Hei felt that things were a little bad. Sure enough. This brat was going to use the illusionary divine soldier in exchange for his life. Yuan Hei's mind was spinning rapidly, trying to find a way to break the situation. The current situation was very unfavorable to him. If he couldn't find a way to deal with it, he and Yuan Shang would probably be surrounded. Facing a siege of more than a dozen strong people of the same level, he and Yuan Shang would surely die. Yuan Ming knew these guys from the Behemoth galaxy too well. Profit is the only thing that matters. A single extreme illusionary divine soldier was enough for them to unite their efforts. What should we do? What to do? Yuan Hei thought nervously. There was not much time left for him. Wait. There it is. Chapter 769, I only have one. The group of Eternal Realm powerhouses from the Behemoth galaxy all nodded to each other in silent agreement. As they were preparing to strike to kill Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang, Yuan Hei suddenly thought of a good way to break the situation. He immediately said loudly, everyone must not fall for Lindong's trick. His purpose is to use an illusionary divine soldier to lure us into an infighting in the giant beast galaxy. As long as we join hands to kill him, the illusionary divine soldier will still be everyone's? My 9-headed Zhao clan guarantees not to participate in the fight. Have you thought about it? There is only one illusionary divine soldier, how can we share it? At that time, it will be another dragon fight within the Behemoth galaxy. This was designed by Lindong a long time ago. This fellow's heart can be punished. Yuan Hei paused after finishing his speech and continued, moreover, Lindong discovered the illusionary divine armament from a relic. Who can guarantee that he only discovered one? If he really only found one, with the preciousness of the extreme illusionary divine soldier, how could he be willing to take it out for everyone? I think he must have discovered many and is taking one out now just to cause infighting in our Behemoth galaxy. Now we should unite together and join hands to waste Lindong and make him hand over all the illusionary divine armaments, so that perhaps each of our forces can share one, and we can avoid a fight to the death. Not only can we conserve our strength, but we can also get an illusionary divine armament, so why not be happy about it? Yuan Hei said so many words in one breath. And again, it was said in such an urgent situation. It caused him to gasp for air after he finished speaking. There was no way. If he didn't say it quickly, once these guys moved after discussing it, he wouldn't even get another chance to say it even if he wanted to at the same time. Yuan Hei was also observing the changes in these guys' expressions. He felt that his words could definitely persuade these greedy guys. A single extreme illusionary divine soldier could make so many people fight to the death. Then a few more, or even a dozen more extreme grade illusionary divine soldiers could definitely drive these guys crazy. Even if this was only a possibility, it was still enough to make them risk their lives to confirm it. Furthermore, more than a dozen sovereign-level powerhouses had joined hands to surround Lindong's three. It was simply a result of crushing. Yuan Hei could not think of any way for Lindong to resist the siege of so many same-level powerhouses. Even more so, he could not think of any reason for these greedy fellows not to make a move against Lindong. Sure enough, Yuan Hei's words once again silenced the entire scene. This was because what he said was not without reason. Since Lindong had found that extreme illusionary divine soldier in his hand in a relic, why couldn't there be a second, third, or even a 10th one? Moreover, the fact that Lindong was willing to give up that sword in his hand proved that he should still have it. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to give away the extreme illusionized divine soldier. The dozen or so surrounding powerhouses simultaneously showed joyful expressions. If Lindong had a few more illusionary divine soldiers, their chances of competing successfully would be much higher. If there was only one piece, even if everyone fought to the death, only one of them would succeed in obtaining it in the end. However, if Lindong had more, it was possible that everyone would be able to share one. Just like Yuan Hei said. This not only avoided infighting and preserved their strength, but also allowed them to obtain the illusionary divine soldier that the Eternal Realm could only dream of. Lindong also did not expect this Yuan Hei to have this skill. He had wanted to utilize the other powerhouses of the Behemoth Galaxy's desire for the illusionary divine soldier to exterminate Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang. Then he would say the identity of Chen Zihan's cosmic enforcer and see if they still dared to ask for the evil-breaking sword from him. This plan of killing someone with a borrowed sword was perfect. Without having to pay the slightest price, the nine-headed Zhao clan could be resolved. As a result, the crisis was easily resolved by Yuan Hei. Lindong looked at the expressions of the dozen or so golden beasts around him. He knew that Yuan Hei's words had impressed these fellows. A single illusionary divine soldier could make them fight to the death, let alone several or even a dozen. The point was that Lindong was still unable to go and explain this matter and could only eat the loss. Originally, he had wanted to use a sword to kill others, but he did not expect to be set up. Now it was his turn to have no way out. Lindong shook his head helplessly. For Yuan Hua to be able to step into the Eternal Realm and become the patriarch of the nine-headed Zhao clan, he was indeed not a light that could be saved. Chen Zihan, on the other hand, watched all of this with interest. With his status, he naturally wouldn't put a mid-level civilization in his eyes. Although the other party was outnumbered, if he really got serious about fighting and poured out all of his cards, he might not be afraid of these 10 or so behemoths. The tactics of a high-level civilization were not something that a mere 5th-level civilization could understand. Chen Zihan not only had 2 illusionary divine soldiers, but also had many of the Heavenly Star Mansion's best techniques. At this time, one of the golden behemoths could not help but open its mouth and asked, "Lindong, should you have heard what Yuan Hei said? Honestly, how many more illusionary divine armaments have you found in the ruins?" All the golden behemoths turned their gazes towards Lindong and waited for his answer. "You guys are thinking too much. This is an illusionary divine soldier, not a rotten cabbage. Where are there so many of them? I was just lucky to have found this one and only this one. You guys love it or not?" Lindong shrugged his shoulders and said helplessly, "Lindong, don't give us the slip of the tongue here. You have to be clear about your current situation. Since there is one illusionary divine warrior in a relic, there will definitely be a second one. Be sensible and hand over all the illusionary divine warriors. Don't force us to do it ourselves. If we injure you at that time, don't blame us for not warning you beforehand." Another golden-colored beast threatened. "Right. Lindong, if you do not hand over all the illusionary divine soldiers, you will not be able to leave today." The other golden behemoths also spoke up. This was a matter of everyone's common interests, and no one wanted to lag behind. "I really only have one illusionary divine soldier. This is still something that I brought out from the relics after a lot of hard work. For it, I almost even lost my life. You guys are now asking me for more. Where am I going to get them for you?" Lindong no longer knew what to say. He knew that no matter how much he said, these guys would not believe him. "Do you think we will believe it? If you really only have one piece, would you be willing to hand it over willingly? Do you take us for fools? If you guys really don't believe it, Then there is nothing I can do. Lindong. It seems that you really don't see the coffin and have to force us to make a move. When the time comes to fight, the outcome is not something we can control. You'd better think clearly. The surrounding golden behemoths had begun to grow a little impatient. It was naturally the best if they could make Lindong hand over the illusionary divine soldier without making a move. If Lindong did not give face, they would also have no choice but to make a move and kill Lindong before taking everything he had. The temptation of the illusionary divine soldier was simply too great. And it was likely that there was more than one. They had to go crazy for once. Chapter 770, Tyrant Dragon Clan. Facing the surrounding dozen or so Eternal Realm sovereign-level golden beasts, they leaped forward, ready to strike. Lindong did not feel the slightest bit of fear, but instead said with a bashful expression, "I think very clearly, and I also wish to have more illusionary divine soldiers to hand over to you guys, but there's no way around it. I only found this one, and I don't know magic, so I can't transform into what you guys want." Everyone. It looks like Lindong does not intend to hand over the illusionary divine soldier, so what are you all waiting for? Let's just do it. As long as we kill Lindong, no matter how many illusionary divine soldiers he has, they will still be ours? Yuan Hei egged on anxiously from the side. He wished to settle Lindong as soon as possible. He was afraid that accidents would occur if time went on. This was because Yuan Hei had discovered a problem. Facing so many powerhouses of the same level, Lindong did not show the slightest bit of fear. There was only calmness. The young man who had come with him had just shown an even more disdainful expression in that moment. Although this expression flickered, it was still seen by Yuan Hei. Such a situation appeared. Either these two were fools. Either there was still a bottom card that had not been used. For Lindong to be the first to step into the Eternal Realm and become the Galactic Lord in the Galactic Galaxy of a third-level civilization, the first one could basically be ruled out. In other words, Lindong and the others still had their bottom cards. And it was an undercard that did not fear the siege of these powerhouses of the same level. The conflict between the nine-headed Zhao clan and Lindong was already irreconcilable. Now, Yuan Hei only wished to pull the entire Behemoth galaxy in. At that time, even if Lindong had an undercard, he would still be facing the entire giant beast galaxy. If they were not enough to deal with Lindong, then they would call in all the Eternal Realm powerhouses of the Behemoth galaxy. Let's see what Lindong comes out with to resist. The Eternal Realm that appeared here was merely half of the entire beast galaxy. Badian, your bearing Dragon Clan, as the #1 ranked race in the giant beast galaxy, give us your opinion. A golden-colored giant beast said. Next, the gazes of all the golden behemoths all looked towards one of them, a golden behemoth that looked like Earth's ancient Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, his hands were not the same as the Tyrannosaurus Rex's. Instead, they were similar to a human's, thick and strong. Since this human is so ungrateful, let's do it. Finish him off as soon as possible. I can't wait to see the illusory divine soldier that belongs to me. Hegemony directly clapped his hands and decided. Yuan Hei sniffed and his heart was filled with joy. The #1 ranked Hegemony Dragon Clan of the giant beast galaxy had spoken, and Lindong had no way to escape. He would face a siege from all the races in the entire Behemoth galaxy. His own plan had succeeded. All of the surrounding golden behemoths began to move and converge towards the center point. The center point was none other than the giant tortoise that Lindong and Chen Zihan, as well as Yuan Shi and the others were riding on. Brother Lin, what next? Chen Zihan looked towards Lindong and asked. Is Brother Chen afraid? Lindong asked back. Afraid? Ha ha ha. Brother Lin, how much are you looking down on me? I, Chen Zihan, have never known how to write the word fear since I was born. Chen Zihan laughed out loud. Then how about Brother Chen accompanying me to go crazy for once? As you wish. After Chen Zihan's main body finished speaking, he pulled out a pair of boxing gloves from his pocket and put them on his hands without any panic. At the same time, a pair of boxing gloves also appeared on his eternal Dharma phase golden body's hands. This scene immediately shocked the golden behemoths that were moving. Another illusionary divine soldier? On top of being shocked, they also felt unusually excited. Excellent! These two fellows, Lindong, really did have more than one illusionary divine armament. Since there were already two pieces, then a third and fourth piece were all possible. Among them, there was no one happier than Bastard Sky of the Hegemony Dragon Clan. He had a set of hegemony fists and was in need of a pair of gloves to assist him in order to maximize his power. He didn't expect someone to send him a pillow when he dozed off. This pair of boxing gloves, illusionary divine soldier, he, bastard Sky, wanted it. With this pair of gloves, the power of his overlord fist could definitely increase geometrically. Ha ha. I didn't expect it. How did you guys know that I need a pair of fist glove illusion divine soldiers? This is sent to me. Since this is the case, then what, not polite to accept this pair of boxing gloves? No one should snatch it from me. I don't want anything else, Taan said with a big smile. Good. Back Ian. This pair of gloves belongs to you, but the other illusory divine armaments, no matter how many Lindong still has, you can no longer participate in the fight. Right. Badian, the gloves can be given to you, even if Lindong does not have any more illusionary divine armaments in his hands. We will not fight you for them, but you must also promise that you will only need the gloves. Yes. I only want the boxing gloves, the rest will be given to you. Badian replied. It's a deal. A promise is a promise. Looks like you guys are set on me? Chen Jingzihan couldn't help but ask as he looked at the golden behemoths who had already started dividing the spoils, or else? Kid, you think you still have a chance to escape? Just hand over the gloves to me. I'll leave you a whole body, otherwise today, I'll not only let you die without a whole body, but I'll even execute your 9 clans in the future. Ba Tian looked towards Chen Jingzihan and said arrogantly. Truly speaking big words without fear of flashing your tongue. Do you know that anyone who dares to talk to me like this is already dead? Your name is Ba Tian, right? Nice name, just don't know if you can suppress it. Chen Jingzihan was also enraged. A trash-like race in a 5th-level civilization, how dare they talk to him like this? It really didn't know how to die. Let alone in this intermediate-level civilization. Even in the high-level civilization where his hometown was. No one dared to speak to the young lord of the Heavenly Star Mansion like this in Chen Jingzihan's hometown, although the Heavenly Star Mansion is not considered the most powerful. But it had at least crossed into the top tier. Ha ha ha. Kid, you're talking to me? Do you know where this place is? This is the Behemoth Galaxy, the world of my Bearing Dragon clan. Chen Jingzihan was already too lazy to talk nonsense to Bartime. Talking to such a beast was a complete waste of breath. He directly took a single stride and darted towards Hegemony Heaven. Bartian, as the number 1 ranked Bartosaurus clan in the giant beast galaxy. Naturally, he would not be timid either. The moment Chen Jingzihan ran towards him, his body was also like a wild horse that had taken off its reins and met him. The 2 huge golden figures of 1 man and 1 beast rapidly approached. Chen Jingzihan didn't have any fancy and superfluous movements. His right hand, which was wearing a boxing glove that illuminated a divine weapon, slammed his fist at Beishan in his heart. He shouted. Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist. This was one of the Heavenly Star Mansion's best techniques. Coupled with the assistance of the illusionary divine soldier, its power could not be underestimated. It was as if there was a super huge planet in the fist. Looking at a punch with such great power, Badian did not dare to receive it hard, but instead dodged sideways. However, the fist wind carried by the Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist still scraped the skin on the surface of Beishan's body with raw pain. Badian was shocked in his heart. What kind of fist technique was this? It was actually more powerful than his bastard fist. One must get it. One must obtain this powerful fist technique. Chapter 771 Heavenly Star Fist of Demon Fury. Badian dodged one of Chen Jingzihan's Heavenly Star Vermilion Fist, and before he could counterattack, Chen Jingzihan's other fist had already slammed over towards him. It was still the powerful Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist, and Batian could even vaguely see a huge fiery red planet on Chen Jingzihan's fist. The extreme heat had already caused him to feel some burning sensation on his skin. It was already too late for him to dodge the strike, so he could only be forced to receive it hard. Bastard fist. Hegemony was not willing to show weakness. A hegemony fist of the Hegemony Dragon clan blasted towards Chen Jingzihan with all his might. Chen Jingzihan showed a look of disdain. Although this punch of Beishan seemed to be quite powerful. But compared to one of the Heavenly Star Mansion's best techniques, the Heavenly Star Voodoo Fist, it was still too far behind and wasn't even on the same level. Not to mention that Chen Jingzihan was now carrying the illusionary divine soldier bestowed by his father, the Blazing Sun. This was a glove that was specially configured for the Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist, and when the two were stacked together, the power was even greater. Although it was not as good as Lindong using the evil breaking sword to perform the evil breaking sword technique. However, it was also not comparable to ordinary moves. Even if the hegemon was one level higher than Chen Jingzihan, with his strength reaching the peak of the Eternal Realm Dominator grade. The Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist and the Illusionary Divine Armor Blazing Sun stacked together were still completely enough to make up for the gap. It even had to be more than enough. Boom! The huge fluctuations created by the collision of the two fists spread out, causing those surrounding Eternal Realm Juggernaut-level powerhouses to feel their hearts tremble. Beishan's strength had reached the peak of the Juggernaut level, and although Qin Jingzihan was only at the late stage of the Sovereign level, with the addition of the Illusionary Divine Soldier Blazing Sun and the Heavenly Star Mansion's master skill, the Heavenly Star Vorpal Fist, he could definitely match or even surpass a powerhouse at the peak of the Sovereign level. The collision of the two with an all-out strike. It almost already represented the strongest battle power of the Eternal Realm's Sovereign level. Chen Jingzihan dislodged the force of the recoil and stood firmly in place. On the other hand, Badian felt a tremendous force come upon him the moment they collided, and it was accompanied by a sharp pain that arose from his own fist. His body was forced to take dozens of steps back before coming to a stop. At the same time, he endured the pain from the extreme heat searing through his fists. Such an unexpected scene left the surrounding crowd of Eternal Realm powerhouses stunned. This human had actually shaken back the peak Sovereign level Bartian with his late Sovereign level strength? Moreover, the expression on Barshan's face seemed to be suffering from the intense pain he was enduring. It was only when they saw Barshan's fist that they came to a realization. At this moment, on Batian's golden fist, the burns were clearly visible. When Yuan Hei saw Beishan's appearance, a wave of fear ran through his heart. Just now, he had fought with this human. Luckily, at that time, both sides were just trying to stall for time and didn't do their best. Otherwise, he would definitely have ended up worse off than Batian. After all, Batian was at the peak of the Sovereign level, while he was only at the late Sovereign level. Even Bartian was no match for this human, let alone him. Next, all the golden behemoths shifted their gazes to Chen Jingzihan's hands. It was another powerful illusionary divine armament. In the eyes of these guys, Chen Jingzihan was able to defeat Bartian, a peak Dominator level powerhouse, with the strength of a late Dominator level, and that pair of gloves definitely contributed to that. Unfortunately, it had already been reserved by Hegemony Heaven, and it was impossible for them to have a chance to obtain it. As expected, with the illusionary divine soldier, there was the possibility of fighting at a higher level. It was the same whether it was Lindong or this human beside him. Lindong could cross two minor realms and defeat Yuan Shang, who was at the late stage of the Sovereign level. This young human was not bad either, and could cross one minor realm and defeat the peak Sovereign level bastard. The surrounding golden behemoths were beginning to get red in the eyes. They could not wait to finish off Lindong and seize all of his illusory divine armaments. This way, they themselves would have the strength to fight over the levels. Peak Eternal Realm Sovereign level? It's nothing more than that. Chen Jingzihan said with a loud laugh as he stood in place after repelling Badian with a punch. His laughter fell on Beishan's ears and was so harsh. Being injured by a human who was one realm lower than himself was definitely the greatest shame in his life. In the Behemoth Galaxy, the Bailong clan was the #1 ranked race in terms of strength, and no race dared to mess with it. They have always been rampant and arrogant. When have they ever been humiliated like this? However, at this time, in Bastard Heaven's heart, he was also quite shocked. This human, despite being a little lower than him in realm, was frighteningly powerful. Even with the illusionary divine soldier, the set of punches he performed was still extremely powerful. At least Batian felt that it was much more powerful than the hegemony fist of the hegemony dragon clan. Who exactly was this person? Where did Lindong, a human from a low-level civilization who had just stepped into the Eternal Realm, find such a powerful helper? Moreover, the two sides were calling each other brother and brother. Their relationship was obviously good. Beishan was puzzled in his heart. However, now was not the time to consider this. He had to waste the other party first to get the illusionary divine soldier and that powerful fist technique. Human! You are the first person who dares to take action against my bearing dragon clan in the Behemoth Galaxy. You have already succeeded in provoking me. Next I will let you know that there are some things that you can't just intervene in, otherwise the consequences will be very serious. Hegemony stared at Chen Jingzihan and said through gritted teeth. Just you? An animal with impure bloodline is just a beast. Do you know what we call guys like you? Chen Jingzihan finished pausing for a moment, then grinned and said, Bastard. You seek death. Taan stared with a pair of blood-red eyes and said word for word. Chen Zihan's words directly scolded the entire Bering Dragon clan into it. The Hegemony Dragon clan was the number one in terms of strength amongst the many star beast races in the giant beast galaxy. For so many years, it had always been in the giant beast galaxy, and no one dared to mess with it. What kind of authority and dominance was this? Now it was surprising to be scolded as an animal by an outsider. I am indeed looking for death, but I'm sorry, you can't do it. Not only you, even if all of you beasts are added together, you can't do it. Chen Zihan swept a glance at all the golden behemoths with a face of contempt. Who was he? The young lord of the Heavenly Star Mansion. Let alone in this fifth-level civilization, even in his hometown, a high-level civilization, it wasn't something anyone could mess with. Moreover, Chen Zihan was not a light. With his honorable status, coupled with his exceptional talent, even in his hometown, that was a guy who was famous and gave many people a headache. The reason why Chen Zihan acted so politely when he arrived in the Milky Way galaxy. That was because he wanted to pull Lindong into the Heavenly Star Mansion. Now that these beasts with impure bloodline also dared to flaunt their power in front of him, Chen Zihan naturally would not spoil them. A fifth-level civilization was just that. If he really pissed him off, mobilizing the power of the Heavenly Star Mansion, it wouldn't be a matter of minutes if he wanted to exterminate it. Chapter 772, Caught in a Crisis Without Knowing It. Chen Zihan's words could be said to have scolded all the golden beasts present. When did they, the noble star beasts, ever receive this kind of insult, and were actually scolded as beasts? This was something that no one could accept. However, everyone did not act immediately. Instead, they were waiting for Bastard Sky's next move. As one of the three peak Eternal Realm sovereign-level powerhouses of the Hegemony Dragon clan, Hegemony Heaven was one of the three peak Eternal Realm sovereign-level powerhouses. Having been injured and called an animal, he would definitely not let the other party off the hook. Very good. Very good. Badian said 3 good in a row before roaring out, Big brother and second brother. You all heard it, this human called our Bylong clan an animal with impure bloodline. When did my Bylong clan ever receive such bullying? And you guys, you've just been scolded together, can you all bear it? As soon as he finished speaking, he received a response. Let's all go together. A quick battle, or according to what my third brother just said, the spoils of war. The Bering Dragon clan, only need that pair of gloves, the rest goes to you all, how about it? The voice came from the void. The one who spoke was the clan leader of the Hegemony Dragon clan, Hegemony King, the elder brother of Hegemony Heaven. Since the Bastard King clan chief has spoken, then we will do as you say. Since the other party is bullying my behemoth galaxy like this, then we won't be blamed for being merciless. What do you all think? Agreed. 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 Several voices expressed their agreement. More than a dozen more golden behemoths then came running wildly from the distance. They soon reached the battlefield. The golden behemoths that came this time were clearly stronger than the ones that had just arrived. The batch just now, aside from Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang as well as Badian, most of them were at the early and middle stages of the sovereign level, whereas this batch were all at the middle and late stages of the sovereign level, and there were even 3 peaks of the sovereign level. The 2 batches of golden behemoths combined were as many as 30. These could all be Eternal Realm powerhouses. Almost 80% of all Eternal Realms in the Behemoth Galaxy had been assembled. When this force was added up, even Chen Zihan felt tricky. With Lindong's strength at the early stage of the sovereign level, even with the addition of the illusionary divine soldier, it would be good if he could block 3 to 5 of them at most. The rest would have to be given to him. Even if Chen Zihan tried his best, he would only be able to do more than enough in the face of more than 20 Dominator rank powerhouses, with a few Dominator rank peaks among them. Get it? It was still necessary to rely on Auntie to make a move. As for directly revealing the identity of the Cosmic Enforcer and shocking these guys, Chen Zihan couldn't do it because he felt that it would be too humiliating. As far as he knew, Cosmic Enforcers were invincible in the hearts of these middle and low-level civilizations. Chen Zihan didn't want to lower the threshold of the Universe Enforcers and make these guys think that the Universe Enforcers were just like that. If these guys lost their fear, it would be difficult to manage them in the future. Even if he wanted to say the identity of the Universe Enforcer, he would have to say it after Auntie made a move to kill these guys. Moreover, Chen Zihan felt that, with the current situation, if Auntie did not take action, even if he said the identity of the universe enforcer. These guys might not believe it. In the vast and boundless universe, a big fist was the hard truth. Lindong looked at the nearly 30 golden behemoths of the eternal realm that were rapidly surrounding him. He was speechless in his heart. He originally wanted to take these guys to accumulate combat experience. Now after Chen Zihan had tossed them around like this, there was no chance at all. If he was surrounded by 30 eternal realm powerhouses, one might be seriously injured or even die if they weren't careful. At that time, don't even use your immortal body, that would be an injustice. The two glanced at each other, both able to read each other's thoughts, and simultaneously retreated backwards. After approaching the giant turtle, they tacitly put away their eternal Dharma phase golden body and stood on the back of the giant turtle. However, they did not return to the building. The two's movements also attracted the attention of the surrounding golden giant beasts. What's wrong? Wasn't it very powerful just now? Not only did you call us animals, but you also said that even if all of us were put together, we wouldn't be able to kill you. What's wrong now? Wimped out? Don't retreat if you have the guts. Come over and we'll fight another 300 rounds, Taan sneered. Shay. Do you have shit in your head? Which one of your eyes saw me wimp out? If I'm a wimp, why don't I run away? I'm standing here right now, come over and kill me if you have the guts. Chen Zihan clamored. The current him had completely regained his true colors as the young master of the Heavenly Star Mansion. He also released what it meant to bully others with his power. With Bailey Yanhong, an Eternal Sword Supreme level powerhouse, standing behind him, he naturally wouldn't be afraid of these trashy goods. Chen Zihan did not put these approaching golden beasts in his mind at all. However, Lindong on the side could be a little worried. Bailey Yanhong had said 90% of her battle strength had to be used to suppress that desire that was about to erupt in her body. This was the aftermath of the charming body's excitation. Chen Zihan definitely didn't know about it. Now so many Dominator-level powerhouses were surrounding her. Is the remaining 10% of Bailey Yanhong's battle power enough? Lindong was somewhat uncertain. He did not actually know. With the passage of time, what Bailey Yanhong was now using to suppress that desire in her body was not 90% of her battle power, but 10%. In other words, right now, Bailey Yanhong was unable to utilize even a little bit of her strength at all, and once she did, she would not be able to suppress it. The reason why she said that she would not step in and let Chen Zihan help Lindong deal with it was because she needed to suppress herself with all her strength. In the luxurious building on the back of the giant turtle, inside a room with a red ocean, Bailey Yanhong was staring at everything outside with an ugly face as she could not help but curse, two troublemaking little bastards. If it was usual these Eternal Realm sovereign level trash, Bailey Yanhong wouldn't even put them in her eyes. But now the situation was a little different. She had to fully suppress that desire in her body that had erupted due to the excitation of the charming body. Therefore, she was unable to make a move. If she did not make a move, Lindong and Chen Zihan, the two troublemaking brats, obviously could not be a match for so many strong people of the same level. What to do? Bailey Yanhong was also caught in a dilemma at this moment. Not to make a move. Lindong and Chen Zihan would be in a crisis. These two, one was the son of her best sister, who had promised to take care of him herself. One was a peerless demon who already possessed half a ticket to break through the Eternal Realm. Both must absolutely not be okay. If they were to strike, she would not be able to suppress herself when the desire of the charming body erupted at that time. The consequences would also be quite severe. Bailey Yanhong closed her eyes and prepared to try and see if she could mobilize a little strength out. It did not need to be much. As long as 0.5% could be mobilized, it would already be completely enough to deal with these sovereign level guys. A moment later, Bailey Yanhong opened her eyes. Her face was bleak. It was still not possible. Chapter 773, The Head of the Seven Sacred Maidens. These star beasts of the Behemoth Galaxy did not immediately make a move to kill Lindong, but instead chose to slowly approach and close the encirclement. The reason they would do so was because both of Lindong were sovereign-level powerhouses who possessed illusory divine armaments. The danger was extremely high. If they were pushed, and the two joined forces and suddenly sneak attacked one of them, it would likely result in serious injuries or even death. Therefore, it was necessary to prevent Lindong and Chen Zihan's dying counterattack. As long as they blocked Lindong's path of retreat and approached slowly, so that even if Lindong suddenly sneak attacked, they would have the time to react and avoid serious consequences. If the nearly 30 sovereign-level powerhouses were of one mind and disregarded the crisis of being injured and attacked collectively, Lindong and Chen Zihan would have no room to resist at all. After all, the difference in numbers between the two sides was too great. Unfortunately, they were not. These golden beasts, all of which were the highest combatants of their respective races, not only represented themselves, but also the star beast race that they were a part of. In case they were chosen by Lindong to be the target of a sneak attack, causing serious injuries or death, it would be an absolutely devastating blow to their race. All of these aspects needed to be considered. Hence, everyone tacitly agreed not to rush out and instead blocked the back roads, tightened the encirclement and approached slowly, concentrating on preventing counterattacks. No one wanted to be the lucky one that Lindong counterattacked on his deathbed. The illusionary divine soldier was certainly important. However, compared to the survival of the entire race, it was obviously still not weighty enough. The atmosphere at the scene was unusually grave. Bastard Heaven and these star beasts were worried about Lindong's counterattack and needed to be highly concentrated to immediately respond once they realized that something was not right. Yuan Shi and the others, on the other hand, held their breath as they watched the gigantic figures that gradually surrounded them. From the tightly clasped hands, it was evident that they were also quite nervous at this moment. As for Lindong, his heart slowly sank. Logically speaking, when things had reached this point now, Bailey Yanhong should have voiced out anyways, only she could solve the problem now. However, up until now, Bailey Yanhong has not moved at all. Thinking back to Bailey Yanhong's recent behavior and the words she said, Lindong felt that things might be a little big. Bailey Yanhong would not be unable to move because she needed to suppress her body with all her might, right? If that was the case, then it would really be a case of lifting a stone and hitting his own foot. Facing so many sovereign-level star beasts, Lindong also had a headache. At this moment, even if he had the bug that was the system, it would not help. The system could allow him to spend money to rapidly increase his strength, but it could not help him deal with strong enemies. He could only rely on himself. Lindong once again felt powerless. Had he known that things would turn out like this? When he had just arrived, it would have been better to directly report the identity of Chen Zihan Universe Enforcer. In that case, even if the illusionary divine soldier was revealed, there would not be any other star beast race that would dare to meddle in their affairs with the nine-headed Zhao clan. Things had reached this point now. Even if they reported the identity of the cosmic enforcers, it was expected that these crazy fellows wouldn't believe them and would only think that they were trying to use the opportunity to escape. What to do? Lindong could not find a solution. Even after thinking through his head, he could only hope that Bailey Yanhong would be able to temporarily suppress her body and move out a little bit of her strength to deter these guys. He turned his gaze towards Chen Zihan next to him. He saw that the other party did not have the slightest sense of urgency, and had a pale and indifferent face. Completely unaware of the impending crisis, Lindong sighed helplessly. Chen Zihan simply did not know the predicament that Bailey Yanhong was facing right now, and that was why she had such an expression. This was a secret between the two of them, herself and her red. Bailey Yanhong had once warned herself not to tell, and she naturally wouldn't tell a third party. The current Chen Zihan was probably still thinking about the scene of these starry sky giants on their knees begging for forgiveness after his anti-red made her move. But this situation can be caused. The culprit was still Lindong. If it wasn't for him, how could Bailey Yanhong need to suppress herself with all her might and be unable to free her hands? However, Lindong himself was also very innocent. Being in divine intercourse with Bailey Yanhong was something that he had absolutely no control over. Who made Bailey Yanhong's seductive body too seductive? It had caused his spiritual energy to be uncontrollably attracted to him, and he had done that kind of unpleasant thing. It was also the first time that Lindong knew that spiritual energy could actually be like this. It was simply refreshing his cognition. Looking at the nearly 30 golden behemoths that kept approaching, Chen Zihan was indeed somewhat unimpressed. In his thoughts, who was standing behind himself? That was Bailey Yanhong, the head of the previous 7 holy maidens of the 7-colored glazed sect. An eternal realm supreme level powerhouse. Every once in a while, the seven-colored glazed sect would have seven exceptional holy maidens represented by the seven colors of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Bailey Yanhong was precisely the head of the previous seven saint maidens, and the color she represented was red. As for Chen Jingzihan's mother, she was also one of the previous seven saint maidens of the seven-colored glazed sect, and the color she represented was green. Even in Chen Jingzihan's hometown, Bailey Yanhong was a resounding figure. With such a strong person standing behind him, Chen Jingzihan did not need to have the slightest worry at all. All crises would be solved by his Aunt Red. Chen Jingzihan didn't know that Bailey Yanhong was now looking miserably at the encircling golden beasts. If the charming body had not been activated, she would have been able to easily solve the trouble in front of her at will. But now she was in a worrying state. Once she did it, she wouldn't be able to suppress the desire in her body, and then she would be in trouble. It was impossible for Bailey Yanhong to watch Lindong and Chen Jingzihan being killed. Dozens of Dominator-level star beasts had already gotten very close and surrounded the giant turtle. Now, if they struck at the same time, Lindong and Chen Jingzihan could not even dodge. Even if they fought back to the death, the effect they could achieve would be quite limited. Bailey Yanhong knew that she would not be able to do so without making a move. Once the two sides started fighting, there would be too many uncertainties. It was like she had made up her mind in her heart. With a red face, she cursed under her breath, "Lindong, you little bastard, this is all the trouble that you have found for yourself. If you dare to refuse when your help is needed, let's see if my old lady does not peel off your skin." Lindong was now basically certain that Bailey Yanhong definitely needed to suppress the desires in her body with all her might. This was all a trouble that he had brought upon himself. Alas! One could only fight to the death. At this time, Chen Jingzihan's mind also began to wonder. What's going on with Auntie Red? Not making a move yet? Could it be that she wanted to exercise to work on herself? He swept a glance at the golden behemoths that had already leaned up. Exercise my ass. To have him fight alone against so many powerhouses of the same level, with a few of them at the peak of the sovereign level, wasn't this looking for death? Chapter 774, Terrifying Strength. Brother Chen, I am sorry, I have dragged you down, let's fight. After Lindong finished speaking, he had already manifested his eternal Dharma phase golden body once again. Although Chen Jingzihan was somewhat confused as to what Lindong's words meant. However, seeing that Lindong had already prepared for battle once again, then naturally, he could not wimp out either. At least we are from a high-level civilization. How can we lose to Lindong, who is from a low-level civilization? Let him also see the power of the heavenly starhouse stance. The two of them manifested their eternal Dharma phase golden bodies one after the other and prepared to face the battle. At this moment, it was unknown who among the dozens of golden behemoths shouted, "Do it!" Immediately, all the golden behemoths all exerted their fastest speed and rushed towards Lindong and Chen Jingzihan. At the same time, they were also preparing their most powerful moves. They were bound to seriously injure or even kill the two Lindongs in the first instance. This was the best way to prevent them from counterattacking in their death throes. Nearly 30 Eternal Sword sovereign level powerhouses struck at the same time. How spectacular was the scene! The hearts of Yuan Shi and these women watching were already in their throats. They were afraid that in the next instant, Lindong would already be gone. Such a magnificent scene would not be seen often even in the advanced civilization where Chen Jingzihan's hometown was located. This place had almost encompassed a fifth-level civilization with more than 80% of the top-tier powerhouses. Lindong and Chen Jingzihan were also frightened. However, the two did not stop the movements in their hands. Evil Breaking Sword Technique. Celestial Star Vorpal Fist. The two of them shouted at the same time in their hearts. However, when the two parties, who were unequally outnumbered, were about to collide together, suddenly a voice rang out. Roll! It was as if a stone was thrown into a calm lake, with the giant turtle as the center. A layer of ripples spread out. All of the attacking sovereign-class starry sky beasts only felt an explosion in their ears and a dizziness in their brains when they heard this voice. The body was then struck by a huge force, intense pain swept through the entire body, and the body flew backwards uncontrollably. The power of this force was beyond their imagination. In the process of retreating backward, even the eternal Dharma phase golden body could not be maintained and dissipated into the void. In just an instant, the eternal Dharma phase golden bodies exerted by the dozens of Dominator-class starry sky beasts that had surrounded Lindong and the rest of them were all destroyed. Their original instants were revealed. The original bodies were exactly the same as the eternal Dharma phase golden bodies. The body size was larger than a human though. But it wasn't comparable to the eternal Dharma phase golden body. These starry sky giants that had recovered their original bodies barely stabilized themselves. Enduring the severe pain brought about by their bodies, their eyes were filled with fear as they looked towards the giant tortoise in the distance. This voice just now came from the building on the back of the giant turtle. The power of the owner of the voice was completely beyond their ability to fight against. The two sides were simply not on the same level. Upon hearing Bailey Yanhan's voice, Lindong and Chen Jingzihan let out a sigh of relief at the same time. If they were really to face these guys, they would almost die 10 deaths. Luckily, Sister Hong had moved a little bit of her strength out at the critical moment, or else they would really have to be accounted for here today. Lindong thought silently in his heart. Chen Jingzihan also relaxed. He knew that Aunt Red would not watch them die. As for causing such an outcome, Chen Jingzihan was not surprised in the slightest. It was because he understood how powerful Bailey Yanhan was. Not to mention just a bunch of sovereign levels, even if they were replaced with a bunch of immortal levels, the result would still be the same and would not change in the slightest. This was Bailey Yanhan, the head of the 7 colored glazed sect's previous 7 holy maidens. A supreme powerhouse of the eternal realm supreme level. The two of them simultaneously put away their eternal Dharma phase golden bodies. Lindong's heart was still shaken as he looked at the starry sky beasts that had recovered their original bodies in the distance. He was not surprised that Bailey Yanhan was able to defeat these guys. However, with just a single word roll, she was able to collapse the eternal Dharma phase golden bodies of nearly 30 sovereign level starry sky beasts and seriously injure them. Wasn't this a little too exaggerated? It was unfathomably powerful. Lindong decided. As soon as he arrived at the Star Void realm, he would immediately find a way to spend money to obtain divine magnificence points and raise his strength as soon as possible. He strove to reach Bailey Yanhan's level or even stronger as soon as possible. Lindong did not want to experience this feeling of powerlessness when facing a strong enemy anymore. Yuan Shi and the others no longer needed to be told. Dumbfounded, they watched all of this. Their brains were still in a state of being on the spot. Only Morongchinga's eyes erupted with a strange splendor. Her own master was actually this strong? It seemed like she was really following the right person. Morongchinga had remembered what Bailey Yanhan had once told her. She said that she was only a half-finished product and wished to cultivate herself into a finished product. A half-finished product could be powerful to such an extent. Then how strong would a finished product be? At this moment, Morongchinga was filled with boundless hope for her upcoming life. She would strive to become the finished product that Bailey Yanhan spoke of. She must surpass her master, and be stronger than the blue. When she returned again, she would definitely shock everyone. No. No. I don't know which great Lord is here? We have offended the Lord, please. Please be magnanimous and let us go. One of the starry sky behemoths asked with a voice so fearful that it trembled. His voice also brought the other starry sky beasts back to reality. All of them were quietly and patiently listening to this Lord's answer. They all understood very well in their hearts. With the terrifying strength the other party had just displayed, even if they wanted to exterminate the entire behemoth galaxy, it would be a very simple matter. This was simply not a strong person that could appear from an intermediate level civilization. Even if it was the only rank 6 civilization in this galaxy cluster, it was impossible for such a strong person to appear. Only advanced civilizations could do it. The difference between an intermediate civilization and an advanced civilization was like the difference between heaven and earth. The gap between the two was like the cosmic realm and the eternal realm. Even if there were more cosmic realms facing the eternal realm, they would still be like ants. This was not a gap that could be bridged by sheer numbers. But how did a strong person from an advanced civilization appear here? Could it be that this seat is the cosmic enforcer responsible for patrolling this area? Bailey Yanhan's voice came out. It made the hearts of all the starry sky giants tremble. Sure enough, it was a cosmic enforcer. Only the legendary cosmic enforcers could have such strength. Sea Lord Cosmic Enforcer. All the starry sky beasts bent down and knelt down in the direction of the giant turtle, shouting loudly from their mouths, "You mole-like beasts, what is your crime for offending this seat?" Bailey Yanhong said in a cold voice. hearing Bailey Yanhong call them beasts. These starry sky beasts did not have the slightest bit of dissatisfaction in their hearts. They only wanted to quell the anger of this cosmic enforcer lord now. Otherwise, today might be their end. Lord Cosmic Enforcer, calm your anger. Lord Cosmic Enforcer, calm your anger. We didn't know that you were here and accidentally offended you. Please be magnanimous and give us a chance to live, and we will definitely be oxen and horses to repay your kindness. Please also be magnanimous, please give us a chance to live. The starry sky behemoths, who were scared out of their wits, kowtowed while loudly begging for mercy. Chapter 775, Law Enforcement Advocate. These starry sky giant beasts kneeling down and begging for mercy did not soften Bailey Yanhong's heart. She was currently in an extremely bad mood. Being forced to use her strength to help relieve Lindong and Chen Zihan. It had already caused the desire in her body to find a crack and burrow out. Even though Bailey Yanhong immediately pressed it back again with all her might, it still did not help. There was already a gap, and it could never be restored. Originally, Bailey Yanhong still thought that with her own strength, she would be able to persevere and return to the seven-colored glazed sect. She did not expect such an accident to occur. She already had a premonition. Soon she would not be able to hold on any longer. All of this was caused by this little bastard Lindong. He had to take the responsibility. Bailey Yanhong, who had nowhere to vent her anger, could only go out towards these star beasts. Humph. A bunch of mole crickets, you think that if you kowtow and apologize, I will let you go? How naive. Lord Enforcer, I wonder what you need to do to let us go. No matter what your request is, just say it and we will definitely do it. Right. Whatever request Lord Enforcer has, just name it, we will help you fulfill it even if we put our lives on the line. We just hope that you can give us a chance. The starry sky behemoths kneeling in the void opened their mouths. They could also see it. This Lord Cosmic Enforcer should not want to kill them. Otherwise, with the strength that the other party had just revealed, it wouldn't be a breeze to settle them, so why bother talking so much nonsense? Since there was a chance to live, who wouldn't want to grab it? Who would want to die? As for the illusionary divine soldier, it was no longer in their consideration. The treasures are no matter how good they are. One must also have a life to take it. Right now, these starry sky giants only want to save their lives. It was really Bailey Yanhong's voice that had just scared these guys out of their wits. Facing such a powerful cosmic enforcer, they didn't even have the courage to run away. In fact, if they escaped now, Bailey Yanhong really had nothing to do with them. Just now, because of her outburst, it caused her suppression to loosen. Although it was now temporarily suppressed again, it was impossible to strike again. Otherwise, the desire in her body would most likely explode out immediately. Thus, Bailey Yanhong must now suppress it with all her heart and strength, not daring to have a single distraction. Even if all of these starry sky giants escaped, she would not even look at them. Unless she encountered a life and death crisis. Otherwise, Bailey Yanhong would never strike again. Lindong and Chen Zihan are the spokespersons of this seat. All you have to do is to satisfy the two of them, or else I will let you know the consequences of offending the cosmic enforcers. Bailey Yanhong's words had just finished. All of the starry sky beasts scrambled to reply. Please feel free to rest assured, Lord Enforcer. We will definitely satisfy Lord Lin and Lord Chen, and no matter what they ask for, as long as we can do it, we will never frown. Bailey Yanhong ignored these starry sky giants that had been scared out of their wits. Instead, she once again said, Lindong, Zihan, I will leave the follow-up matters to you, deal with them as soon as possible, feel free to mention any requests you have. If these fellows fail to satisfy you, I will let them know that there are some people who cannot be offended. Understood, Sister Hong. Understood, Auntie Hong. Lindong and Chen Zihan said at the same time. Bailey Yanhong did not speak again. The crisis had been lifted. She did not have the heart to care about such trivial matters now. She also had to focus all of her energy on trying to suppress it for some more time. Wanting to persist in returning to the seven-colored glazed sect was no longer possible. One could only try to stall for as long as possible. It might not be long before she would need to seek help from Lindong. The thought that she would still have to be treated like that by Lindong in his spiritual environment, or that she had taken the initiative to ask for it. A blush appeared on Bailey Yanhong's face, while her body also began to burn slightly, emitting an inspiring body fragrance. Coupled with the excitement of her own charming body, her body, which was already mature and charming, was now even more charming, with her seductive power skyrocketing, stimulating the male hormones. As long as it was a normal man, seeing Bailey Yanhong's current appearance, he would absolutely be unable to resist pouncing on her. Even if there was an abyss in front of him, he would not have the slightest hesitation. This is the body of seduction, an extremely special type of physique in the universe. Women with this kind of physique were very rare. Every single one that appeared was at the level of a scourge. Bailey Yanhong was so. Morong Chinga was also like this. It was just that Morong Chinga was still young and her strength was low, so the seductive body couldn't be displayed in its entirety. As her age increased, her strength increased. In the future, she would be another Bailey Yanhong. There was even a high possibility that she would surpass. Because Bailey Yanhong was a person who had been there before, she would give Morong Chinga a set of the most suitable cultivation plan, allowing her to maximize the specialness of the charming body. Little bastard, this is the trouble you've caused yourself. If you dare to reject me, let's see how my old lady will clean you up. After Bailey Yanhong cursed these words, she closed her eyes and devoted herself to suppressing her body. Lindong stood on the back of the giant turtle, and although he was calm on the surface, he was a little worried inwardly. He knew that Bailey Yanhong must have had no choice but to take the risk. He also did not know how the other party's situation was now. If, like she said, she couldn't suppress the desire in her body and explode it out, that would be troublesome. Once Bailey Yanhong lost her mind, with her terrifying strength, not only would they suffer, even the entire Beast Galaxy and even the neighboring galaxies would follow. This was definitely more serious than the consequences caused by a war between galaxies, and more people would be devastated. I don't know what the two lords are asking for? Please also say it, we will definitely fulfill it to the best of our ability. Yes, yes. What are the requests of the two lords? Please feel free to put them forth, we will fulfill you even if we are broken to pieces. Lindong did not bother because he was worried about Bailey Yanhong. Chen Jingzihan, on the other hand, smiled coldly and did not say anything either. However, his gaze sent a chill down the hearts of all the starry sky beasts. To say that the ones who felt the most fear and dread in their hearts right now were naturally the nine-headed Jiao clans Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang. There was already an irreconcilable conflict between them and Lindong. Originally, they had thought of using the power of the entire Behemoth galaxy to kill Lindong. Unexpectedly, Lindong had transformed into the spokesperson of the cosmic enforcers. How could this be? Yuan Hei had long felt that Lindong had come from a bad place this time. It turned out that behind him stood the cosmic enforcer lord. It was no wonder that the two were not the least bit afraid even when facing the power of the entire Behemoth galaxy. The backing was indeed a bit frighteningly large. Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang were now in a dilemma. They could only hope that Lord Lindong would be generous and leave them a way out. At the same time, they were also preparing to run away at any time. Although the chances of being able to successfully escape were slim. But slim was better than waiting for death here, right? Chapter 776, Greetings to the Two Lords. Lindong and Chen Jingzihan did not speak. The starry sky beasts did not dare to make any random noises either. They could only wait quietly for Lindong to make his request. The scene was quiet for more than 10 seconds. Taan was somewhat unable to stand the atmosphere. He felt that he could not sit back and wait for death, he had to save himself. He had just offended Chen Jingzihan and wanted to snatch his illusionary divine soldier. Now, he saw the other side showing a cold smile. Beishan's heart became a little hairy. Instead of waiting for Lindong and Chen Jingzihan to make their demands, it would be better to take the initiative. He exchanged a glance with several other late and peak sovereign level star beasts, slightly nodded their heads, transmitting their own meanings. After receiving a response, Hegemony's heart crossed. The body suddenly stormed up. Several other starry sky beasts that had exchanged words with Hegemony Heaven also moved at the same time. Their targets were none other than Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang. These two fellows were the culprits of this incident. If it wasn't these two fellows, how would they have offended the Lord Enforcer of the universe? Fall into such a state? Now, they could only sacrifice the nine-headed Jiao clan as a way to gain Lindong's forgiveness and save their lives. The 7 or 8 starry sky beasts attacked Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang together. The sudden unexpectedness caused Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang to not react for a moment. They had been focusing their attention on Lindong. In the eyes of Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang, Lindong was the greatest danger. But what they did not expect was that Lindong had not yet spoken. These survivalist bastards from Badian would actually strike out at them in order to gain Lindong's forgiveness. Fortunately, they had also kept their nerves taut. When Badian made his move, they also fought back. However, not only was there a gap in strength between the two sides, the numbers were even farther apart. Boom boom boom. Put. Ah. Batian, you bastards shall not die. Yuan Hei spat blood from his mouth and cursed loudly. Humph. Yuan Hei, you nine-headed Xiaoclan dared to offend Lord Lin and Lord Chen. You really don't know how to die. Now we'll take care of the two lords' worries and finish you off once and for all. As for whether or not we shall not have a good death, I'm sorry you won't be able to see it. Badian said in a righteous and stern voice. The first collision between the two sides ended with Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang losing miserably and being seriously injured. But things were far from over. Hegemony Heaven took the lead, and after the other nearly 20 starry sky beasts reacted, they also joined the fight. They could not let these guys like Bartian take all the credit. Who did not want to curry favor with Lindong and Chen Jingzihan, the two cosmic law enforcement advocates right now? Destroying Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang was undoubtedly the best method. Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang barely managed to withstand the first round of siege, before they could slow down and their bodies could repair themselves. The second round of attacks had already arrived. This time, it was nearly 20 starry sky beasts joining forces to surround them. Although their strength was slightly weaker than Baishan's few, all of them were at the early and middle stages of the sovereign level. But the number was close to as many as 20. This round of attacks wasn't much weaker than the previous round. Ah! You bastards, all of you shall not die. Yuan Hua had already drowned in nearly 20 attacks before he even finished speaking. The body that was already close to the edge of collapse instantly obliterated and disappeared into the heavens and earth. Nearly 30 Juggernaut-level powerhouses, 2 rounds of attacks, completely annihilated 2 late Juggernaut-level starry sky giant beasts. It didn't even give them time to repair themselves. The immortal body of the Eternal Realm was a complete joke under such crushingly powerful attacks, and it didn't even have time to repair its body before it was completely destroyed. The speed of the Eternal Realm was not covered. From the first round of attacks led by Bastard Sky to the end of the second round of attacks by the remaining nearly 20 starry sky beasts, it was all completed in an extremely short period of time. Two lords, the nine-headed Zhao clan is the scum of the giant beast galaxy. Now that the two leaders of Yuan Hei Yuan Shang have been completely killed, next we will also carry out a purge of their clan, and we will never give them a chance to resurface. I don't know if you two lords can be satisfied with this? Tian said respectfully. Chen Jingzihan watched all of this with cold eyes. He was naturally aware of Baishan's purpose. But as the young lord of the Heavenly Star Mansion, what kind of noble status was he? This Tian actually dared to offend his superiors from below and even tried to seize his illusionary divine soldier. How could Chen Jingzihan forgive easily? Without letting these fellows pay a sufficient price, he would definitely not let up. It was important to know that even in Chen Jingzihan's hometown, that advanced civilization, he was the king of the mongrels, and few people dared to mess with him. But he was still considered good. At least he was able to make a clear distinction between grudges. Unlike certain children of great powers who were temperamental and brutal this time, Tian had already offended Chen Jingzihan's bottom line. He had offended his honorable status as the young master of the Heavenly Star Mansion. A fifth-level civilization actually dared to offend the young lord of the Heavenly Star Mansion. If Chen Jingzihan didn't do something, if it was spread out, where would his Heavenly Star Mansion's face go? This was not just about Chen Jingzihan alone. Rather, it was a matter of the face of the entire Heavenly Star Mansion. Lindong saw Chen Jingzihan's cold expression and knew that he would not let Batian off easily. Although on the surface, it appeared that it was they who held the absolute advantage. Everything that Batian and these star beasts had done was to obtain their forgiveness. However, Lindong knew that the situation today was somewhat unfavorable. Bailey Yanhong needed to suppress her body and was no longer able to strike, and that time just now was presumably out of necessity. As for the strength of the two of them, he and Chen Jingzihan, they were simply unable to defeat these huge numbers of starry sky beasts. If both sides fought and Bailey Yanhong didn't make a move, they wouldn't end up any different from Yuan Hei Yuan Shang. They could only be mercilessly crushed. Seeing that Chen Jingzihan was preparing to speak, Lindong's heart sank. He could not allow him to speak again to drive these guys from Batian to the brink of extinction. So he hurriedly jumped ahead and said, "The nine-headed Jiao clan has repeatedly tried to invade my galaxy and captive the humans of my galaxy as food, which has already violated the cosmic convention. This time we have also come to severely punish them, although you guys have just made some wrong decisions, but given the fact that you have been able to correct them in time, and also helped us to clean up the nine-headed Jiao clan, which is considered to be the merit and demerits. We will not pursue Behemoth Galaxy any further. We will also stop pursuing the responsibility of the Behemoth Galaxy." Lindong's words immediately caused the hearts of all the star beasts present to rejoice. Sacrificing Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang was indeed the most correct decision. Finally, they had obtained Lord Lin's approval. Their little lives could be saved as well. "Many thanks, Lord Lin. Many thanks to Lord Chen. Thank you for your magnanimity. The Behemoth Galaxy, will definitely remember this and never forget it." Taan exclaimed in delight. Chen Jingzihan frowned. He was just about to speak when he was snatched by Lindong. There were not many who dared to steal his words. If this person was not Lindong, Chen Jingzihan would have definitely gone ballistic long ago. However, he was still not prepared to let Taan off the hook. Just as he was about to speak again, Lindong spoke again. "Brother Chen, the matter has been settled, let's go. Aunt Hong is still waiting for us." He finished patting Chen Jingzihan's shoulder before turning around and walking towards the luxurious building. Chen Jingzihan stood alone. It was neither right to leave nor right to stay. In the end, he could only helplessly shake his head. Following Lindong, he turned around and left. He found that arriving at this low to medium level civilization had in turn rubbed out his temperament quite a bit. Respectfully send off the two lords. Respectfully send off Lord Cosmic Enforcer. All the starry sky behemoths shouted out together in excitement. In their hearts, they were thinking that they had finally sent off these few bogeymen. Chapter 777, Disclosure. Lindong returned to the building on the back of the giant turtle. Yuan Shi and the others collectively cast worried gazes. "Everyone does not need to worry so much. I am fine. There is Sister Hong, she will solve everything." Lindong comforted. Chen Jingzihan also came in at this time. "Lindong, why are you letting these guys off so easily?" "I was still prepared to give them a little color. A fifth-level civilization is just a fifth-level civilization. How dare they let slip that they have seized my illusionary divine soldier? You really don't know how to live. Do you think that my heavenly star mansion is easy to bully? If it wasn't for you stopping them, I would have already shot to waste them just now," Chen Jingzihan said with dissatisfaction. "Brother Chen, why bother? That clan of bastard heaven is still very prestigious in the Beast Galaxy. If we push them to the brink and unite all the races in the Beast Galaxy, we may not necessarily be able to gain any benefits. Can't we see that these two fellows, Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang, were completely killed without even having a chance to resist?" Lindong persuaded. "How dare he? Can we be the same as those two fellows? Even if we lend Badian 10 more guts, he wouldn't dare to make a move against us, and with Auntie Hong around, what waves can a small fifth-level civilization make?" Chen Jingzihan was not the least bit impressed in his view. It was just a fifth-level civilization in the district. Although relying on himself, he would definitely not be able to defeat it. But with Aunt Hong, a supreme-level powerhouse, what did he have to fear? Could it be that Aunt Red would not make a move if he was besieged? It was impossible for this to happen. Aunt Red and his mother had been good sisters for over 1,000 years. Even closer than most blood sisters. "Brother Chen, there is a saying on our earth that rabbits will bite when they are anxious, and dogs will jump over the wall when they are anxious. If Badian is faced with a crisis of certain death, he will surely throw his weight around and fight to the death. What is our status? Why do we need to be general with them? Wouldn't it be better to come back for revenge later when our strength can crush them? No good. Lindong, I don't know anything about vulgarity. When have I, Chen Jingzihan, ever been bullied like this? Still in this tiny fifth-level civilization, no way. Even if I don't kill Badian, I have to waste him and give him a lesson he will never forget, otherwise I can't swallow this breath and I don't believe he dares to resist." Chen Jingzihan was ready to turn around and go out after he finished speaking. Lindong hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. "Brother Chen, it is not too late for a gentleman to take revenge. There is no need to be in such a hurry." "That is a gentleman. My Chen Jingzihan's aim has always been that any revenge must be avenged immediately, not to mention 10 years. I can't even wait for one day. Brother Lin, don't stop me." Chen Zihan bypassed Lindong and continued to walk out. It looked like he would not rest until this breath was taken out of his mouth today. Just now, Chen Zihan had followed in because he did not want to refute Lindong's face in public. Now that it was clear, he would have to continue to do things according to his heart. Even Lindong could not stop him. Lindong looked at Chen Zihan's determined expression and knew that the other party's mind was made up, so there was nothing he could do for a while. Chen Zihan came from a large power in a high-level civilization, and still belonged to the noble status of the first heir. A fifth-level civilization was naturally not in his eyes. However, he did not realize that nowadays, the power is stronger than the people. Lindong knew about Bailey Yanhan's situation, because it was caused by him. However, Chen Zihan did not know. It was estimated that he had still been thinking that Bailey Yanhan would give him a backing, which was why he was so emboldened. Alas! This thing got. Chen Zihan was about to walk out. Lindong knew that once he let him go out, there would only be three scenarios. One was that the Behemoth galaxy took in the intimidating power of Bailey Yanhan's voice just now, and Badian voluntarily sacrificed himself as a means of obtaining Chen Zihan's forgiveness, preserving his own race, and preserving the entire Behemoth galaxy. Secondly, Badian was unwilling to be captured, but the other races, in order to be able to live, just like they did with Yuan Hei and Yuan Shang, directly teamed up to kill Badian on the spot. Thirdly, the hegemony having united all the races in the Behemoth galaxy and resisted with the determination to die. Frankly speaking, Lindong felt that the first and second were much more likely. The third scenario was minimal. However, he could not help but Chen Zihan, a fellow born in an advanced civilization, was too arrogant. In case the major races in the Behemoth galaxy were made to think that he was trying to make a move against the entire Behemoth galaxy. With Chen Zihan's character, even if he only wanted to make hegemony pay alone, he wouldn't bother to explain. When the time came, it might actually turn out that all the powerful people of the Behemoth galaxy were joining forces to fight to the death. It would be a death anyway. Why not put up a fight? That would be really troublesome. No way. Can't let Chen Zihan go out. Nor can he cause any more trouble for Sister Hong. Lindong quickly walked over to Chen Zihan's side. Chen Zihan thought that Lindong was going to stop him again and just wanted to open his mouth to refuse unexpectedly. Lindong in but quietly said, "Brother Chen, Sister Hong's current situation is a bit worrisome. We should not add to his chaos, or else we will not be able to end it when the time comes, and her old man will be angry." Chen Zihan instantly stopped his advancing body at those words. Turning his head, he looked at Lindong with a shocked expression. Aunt Hong's situation was somewhat worrisome? What was the meaning of this? How was he completely unaware of it? Brother Lin, are you telling the truth? Chen Zihan asked with a face full of disbelief. 1,000 times true. Lindong replied seriously. Chen Zihan stared at Lindong for a while before speaking. Good. I believe you. After saying this, he no longer continued to move forward, but turned around and walked inside. He believed that Lindong would not joke about this matter. If it was true, once Aunt Hong had an accident and was unable to come to her aid, then wouldn't he be looking for death if he went out to face the entire Behemoth galaxy's dominator-level powerhouses? Chen Zihan was condescending. But he wasn't stupid. He would not do such a foolish thing of rushing up to die when he knew that he would not be able to defeat them. Lindong looked at Chen Zihan's back as he left and let out a sigh of relief in his heart. He then began to greet the crowd. Everyone go back and rest. The matter of the Behemoth galaxy has been resolved, so next we will start rushing, and it is estimated that it will take a long time before we reach our destination. Lindong, are you really alright? Yuan Shi still could not help but ask. Do you see that I look like I'm not fine right now? You guys don't worry about it. I'm really fine and alive. Good then. We won't bother you anymore, you have a good rest too. Yuan Shi turned around and prepared to go back to her room after saying that. Brother Lindong, you are also tired, have a good rest. Lu Xiaoxiao also left after saying that. Next, Jia Xian, Huang Fuxia, Han Shiyun, Song Jia, Luo Hongyu, and Suing Xue all returned to their own rooms to rest after greeting Lindong one by one. Morong Qingda gave a final inexplicable glance at Lindong and turned around to leave without saying a word. Lindong did not have any special feelings towards this absolute woman who had once stirred up the wind and clouds of China. We had merely met 2 or 3 times, that was all. With everyone gone, only Lindong was left standing alone. He now very much wanted to go and find out how Bailey Yan Hong's situation was, exactly. But again, he felt that it would be too risky to do so. In the end, he chose to return to his room. If Bailey Yan Hong had anything going on, she would have taken the initiative to contact him. Chapter 778, An Inconvenient Secret. Chen Jingzihan did not return to his room. He directly came to Bailey Yan Hong's door and knocked on it. Knock knock knock. Auntie Hong, it's me. Chen Jingzihan opened his mouth. He wanted to come and confirm what was wrong with Aunt Hong. This matter was no joke. With Aunt Hong's strength, she would actually be in a worrisome situation? Chen Jingzihan didn't know what exactly had happened, nor could he understand how a supreme-level powerhouse could be in a critical situation. Soon Bailey Yan Hong's voice came from the room. It's Zihan. What's the matter? Bailey Yan Hong asked. Auntie Hong, I'm looking for you for something, waiting for you at the usual place. Chen Jingzihan said. He knew that Bailey Yan Hong's boudoir, men were not allowed to enter. Usually, when they chatted, it was in other rooms. So he didn't ask Bailey Yan Hong to open the door, but said to wait at the usual place. Zihan. If you have something to say, just say it. Here? Aha! It's not very convenient here, let's go to the old place. No need, just say it here, no one will hear. Chen Jingzihan's heart sank. He knew that something was definitely wrong with Aunt Red. In the past, when he had something to look for Aunt Red, he was always told to go ahead and wait and arrive later. Yet this time he was told to say it right here. And the voice was clearly a bit rushed. How could this be? What in the world had gone wrong? Aunt Hong, I heard Lindong say that you were a little unwell, so I wanted to come and see what's wrong with you. Is there anything I can help you with? When I left home this time, my mother prepared a lot of precious pills for me. Come out and see if there is anything you need. Chen Jingzihan didn't beat around the bush or test the waters, but was directly honest. He was the one that Bailey Yan Hong had watched grow up. With the relationship between them, there was no need to come to falsehoods, just say what you have to say. Bailey Yan Hong in the room was silent for a while before she spoke. Zihan, thank you for your kind words. Lindong is right, my body does have a small condition. It is not appropriate for me to go out and fight against the enemy for the time being. However, I just need to go back to the 7-colored glazed sect. Your medicine will not be able to do much for me. Go back. I don't have any major problems yet. A small condition in the body? With Bailey Yan Hong's strength of the Eternal Realm Supreme level, in this low to medium level civilization, she was a completely invincible existence. All could not have been caused by external factors. As for the internal cause, Chen Jingzihan suddenly thought of a possibility. He remembered that his mother had once told him Aunt Red was a special physique. Could it be that there was a problem with this special physique? It was very possible. But there was nothing he could do about this aspect. He could only rely on Aunt Hong herself. If even she couldn't solve it, then there was no one here who could help. Chen Jingzihan did not know Lindong would be able to help. Or in the kind of way that would make countless men envious. I wondered what Chen Jingzihan's expression would be when she understood that her most respected Auntie Hong was spiritually intertwined with Lindong in that kind of humiliating manner. At this moment, Chen Jingzihan thought of another problem. Aunt Hong's body was in a state. Even he, the nephew with the best relationship, did not know about it. How did Lindong know about it? Rather, it looked as if he had known it a long time ago. There was no reason for Aunt Hong to only tell Lindong and not Emma. During the time on Earth, when he went on a tour and was not there, what exactly happened? These two wouldn't have any untold secrets, right? Impossible. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Chen Jingzihan shook his head repeatedly, shaking out the distracting thoughts about that in his mind. How long had these two people known each other? Regardless of whether it was from the aspect of strength, identity, or status, the gap between the two was worlds apart. How could there be an untold secret? But what if there really is? Chen Jingzihan couldn't help but think again. How else could this situation be explained? If it was true, Chen Jingzihan's heart would definitely be unable to accept it. One was Lindong, who he regarded as his brother. One was his most respected elder. If the two were combined together, Wouldn't this mess up the seniority? How would he address Lindong when he met him in the future? Brother Lin or Auntie? Moreover, although Lindong was mysterious, even the heavenly star viewing technique could not see through it. But with Chen Zihan's vision, Lindong was not worthy of Bailey Yanhong no matter what. One must know how many great figures Bailey Yanhong had rejected over the past 1,000 years. Among them, there was even a superb person who had surpassed the eternal realm. This super big brother, until now, still cannot forget Bailey Yanhong, often in public openly and secretly said, his own position of the wife of the palace will always be reserved for Bailey Yanhong. Fortunately, Bailey Yanhong came from the 7-colored Lili sect and was the head of the 7-colored Lili sect's previous 7 holy maidens. If she didn't have such a big tree as a backer, she would have long since been snatched away by this superb man and gone to become the lady of the palace. Even such a figure, Bailey Yanhong had refused. How could Lindong, a fellow who came from a low-level civilization and whose strength was only at the early stage of the sovereign level, have any virtue to be able to have something with Bailey Yanhong? To put it bluntly, he did not even have the qualifications to think like this. Even if Lindong was no matter how talented and demonic he was, could he still surpass the eternal realm 100%? Let alone him. Even those few guys from Chen Zihan's hometown who were recognized as the most demonic would not dare to say that they could 100% surpass the eternal realm and step into another level. If he could not surpass the eternal realm, Lindong would never have this qualification. Shaking off those wild thoughts in his mind, Chen Zihan returned to his senses. He actually wanted to ask Bailey Yanhong. However, he did not dare to. In the end, he could only say, Auntie Hong, since that's the case, I'll go back first, you have a good rest and call me anytime you need anything. Ah. Bailey Yanhong responded and stopped speaking. Chen Zihan stood at the doorway for another 10 seconds or so. He really couldn't think of any way to help Bailey Yanhong, and didn't dare to ask the question in his head, so in the end, he could only leave helplessly. In the room of the Red Ocean. It was only until Chen Zihan left that Bailey Yanhong breathed a little sigh of relief. At this time, she could not see anyone. In particular, she could not see men. A long red dress, which was already soaked with fragrant sweat, revealed a golden ratio of an overwhelmingly good figure. Concave where it should be concave, convex where it should be convex, large where it should be large, small where it should be small. The skin all over her body was slightly hot, emitting a charming fragrance. The blush on her face was also becoming more and more tantalizing. Between the breadths of the red lips, they were able to produce infinite seductive power. Raising her hands and feet, plus a casual glance, it was all charming, making the man unable to stop. If this state meets Chen Zihan, where would Bailey Yanhong's dignity as an elder go? Chapter 779, Silver Snake Clan. The giant turtle drilled into the spatial rift and disappeared shortly after Lindong and Chen Zihan entered the building. It was only after watching the giant turtle disappear that Bastard Heaven and these dominant star beasts of the giant beast galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief. Finally, they could put their hearts into their stomachs. As long as this cosmic enforcer lord did not leave, they would always be on edge. It was really Bailey Yanhong's role that had just caused too much psychological shadow for them. A single voice had directly shocked and injured nearly 30 lord-level powerhouses, causing them to be unable to even maintain their eternal Dharma phase golden bodies. This kind of strength was simply appalling. In fact, even if Chen Zihan came out again, wanting to waste Badian and take out a mouthful of bad anger, as long as he didn't speak out of turn and didn't let these starry sky beasts think that he was trying to destroy the entire beast galaxy, there wouldn't be any starry sky beasts that would come forward to help Hegemony Heaven. Even the Hegemony Dragon Clan would personally send Hegemony Taan to Chen Zihan in order to perpetuate their race. This was the deterrent power of the cosmic enforcers. It was also the power displayed by Bailey Yanhong's voice. Finally leaving, Badian transformed back to his human form from his original body and wiped his hand on the sweat on his forehead. At this moment, his face was pale. Obviously terrified. Deeply afraid that Chen Zihan would find trouble. Just now, he had let slip that he wanted to kill the other party and take away that glove illusionary divine soldier. Who knew that Chen Zihan had transformed and actually become the spokesperson of the Cosmic Enforcer? Wasn't this being too old to move? What Badian didn't realize was Chen Zihan was the Cosmic Enforcer, but he had just gotten this identity and was still in the internship stage. That's why he needed Bailey Yanhong to lead him before he could come out. With his current strength, he was not strong enough to carry out the tasks of a cosmic enforcer alone. When he would break through the sovereign level and reach the immortal level, he would be able to carry out missions on his own alone. Yeah. Finally left, for the first time in my life, I have seen the Cosmic Enforcer. It's really too powerful, even more powerful than the legends. In front of the Lord Enforcer, we are completely incapable of resisting it all, as if we were ants. A starry sky beast exclaimed from the sidelines. After Bailey Yan Hong, the Cosmic Enforcer, left, everyone was relieved and all of them changed back to human form as the spirit of all living things. Humans were also the object of imitation for countless races in the universe. Changing into human form was not only convenient, but it also helped them to perceive heaven and earth. That's natural. The prestige of the Cosmic Enforcers is not something that is said, but is actually fought with their fists. It is said that once there were many powerful forces that did not abide by the cosmic conventions and did not submit to the management of the Cosmic Enforcers, only that they have all disappeared into the dust of history now. While everyone was sighing at the power of the Cosmic Enforcers, a voice suddenly said, listening to the voice of that Cosmic Enforcer Lord just now, it should be a woman. Even the voice carries a super seductive power. Judging from my many years of experience, I'm sure that this adult must be a peerless beauty. It's a pity that I wasn't able to witness her face with my own eyes. It's really a regret in this life, if only I could have seen it. Before his words were finished, he was immediately interrupted. Shut up. Don't continue to speak further. If Lord Enforcer hears us, we will all be finished. If you want to die, don't drag everyone along with you. A starry sky beast shouted in fear. What are you afraid of? The Cosmic Enforcer isn't a god. How could he know what we're saying and doing at all times? Besides, with that giant turtle's speed in the spatial rift, it's probably already left the Behemoth galaxy by now. The voice said in disbelief. The owner of the voice was a scruffy old man with a short stature, hunched back, unkempt hair and beard, and a trivial face. It was completely impossible to tell that it was a sovereign-level powerhouse, and a peak sovereign-level one at that. It was hard to understand just how such a fellow had cultivated to the peak of the sovereign rank. This scruffy old man's origin was not simple. He came from the second-ranked Silver Serpent clan in the Giant Beast Galaxy. His name was Silver Chong, and strong people of the same rank with similar strength liked to call him Succubus. In the entire Beast Galaxy, the Silver Serpent clan's strength was second only to the Bearing Dragon clan, occupying the second position. It was also a very special race. As for how special it was, one or two could be heard from what he said. The Cosmic Enforcer had just left not long ago, so who in their right mind would talk about the other party behind their back like that? Hold it. Stop it. You lecherous worm, you're simply colorful and daring. How dare you even hit on the idea of the Cosmic Enforcer Lord? You really don't want to die? The methods of the Enforcer Lord are not something we can speculate on? Maybe she's listening right now. It's just that she hasn't shown up. What a fuss! If she could hear, wouldn't she come out and slap me to death? If I can see the real face of this lord, I will not have any regrets. I really want to see if she matches my imagined appearance. If so, if I can have a kiss, even if my body is broken to pieces, I will be satisfied in this life. Yin Chong said and also revealed a face of intoxication. Shit. Succubus, you guy is a complete pervert. Simply incomprehensible. Forget it. I can't afford to mess with you. Can't I just hide? Everyone, for the sake of my own life, I'll leave first. A middle-aged man finished speaking and directly tore through space, stepping in with a single step, and added a sentence on his way out. Lord Universe Enforcer, what this old slut said has nothing to do with me. I have always respected you from the beginning to the end. The middle-aged man had just left. The rest of the starry sky beasts, one by one, also found excuses to leave. They didn't want to hang around with the Silver Serpent clan looking for death. Even the Lord Enforcer dared to hit the Lord Enforcer's idea. Truly a strange race. In order to plant excellent seeds, they could even disregard their own lives. When one thought of the power of Bailey Yan Hong's voice just now, all the starry sky giants couldn't help but shiver. In the end, only Silver Heavy remained in place. He did not leave in a hurry. Instead, he came to the place where the giant tortoise had just stayed, and his position happened to be the location of the luxurious building. Silver Heavy took a few deep breaths. He smelled a hint of something unusual. Suddenly, his eyes widened with shock. What kind of breath is this? In an instant, Silver Heavy's entire body's chilling hairs stood straight up, his pores opened wide, and with a face of infatuation, he greedily breathed in the scent that remained here in large gulps. As if there was some kind of overwhelming delicacy, every time he inhaled a mouthful, Yin Shang felt his body was soothed, as if he had drank some kind of 10% tonic medicine. The hint of desire that leaked out after Bailey Yanhong's charming body was stimulated had some innate fatal attraction for the Silver Serpent clan. This was from the depths of the soul. It was not controlled by the Silver Snake clan. If Bailey Yanhong was in the territory of the Silver Serpent clan and emitted the aura of desire from her body, it would definitely cause the entire Silver Snake clan to flock to her. Even if they knew that Bailey Yanhong was a cosmic enforcer, they wouldn't have the slightest hesitation. This situation was like a moth to a flame.